Show.
So everybody's going to the anniversary party?
Yeah.
Yes.
Trey?
Yep.
Clovis?
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Did your mom have her big date tomorrow night?
Yeah. I'll get an email about that, too.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Russ, your mom was?
Why is that funny to you?
What's it funny to me?
Yeah.
Because George is going to be paying.
Just because she's going out with George doesn't mean she's spreading the lips for George. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, kind of.
Is that going to bother you in the limo tonight, knowing that tomorrow night your mom's going to be in the same car?
Damn.
I'm sorry, Trey. How does that go? Eh?
I'm going to shut up.
No. Tell me how it goes again. What does it sound like when George is begging my mom?
Shut up.
What's the email?
It just says, so your mom wants to spend some time with somebody who's interested in her. Why don't you leave her alone? Be happy for her and wish her a wonderful evening. Sounds like she's a very nice lady, and she knows right from wrong unless she has Trey.
Finally.
If she feels like she's having fun, then leave her alone. Why don't you let somebody be happy for once?
Let her go out and be a slut with George.
Stop it calling her a slut.
You know she's going to give it up.
Yeah.
The slut. She's a whore.
Yeah. God. Close?
79-year-old founder of Playboy magazine. As of recently, by the way, he's down to only 3 girlfriends. They are 31, 25, and now 20 years of age.
How bad do you want a career that you'll sleep with an 80-year-old man?
No kidding. 21-year-old. You almost see the... No, I can't. Never mind. 31-year-old. You can sort of see the 31-year-old.
I don't care what was at the end of the rainbow. There is no way I could screw an 80-year-old woman.
As a 20-year-old. 20-year-old hot chick.
I wouldn't, huh?
This 20-year-old hot chick.
I know. I'm just reversing it. I don't care what I wanted.
No. Well, there's a difference in an 80-year-old woman and an 80-year-old man, too.
I wouldn't want to screw a 70-year-old woman.
No.
I don't even think I'd go down to 60.
Mm-hmm. How old was Bridget Bardot when she was still hot?
I don't know. I think I'd still do, there's a chick that was in the Elvis movies, and the grumpy old man. Anne Margaret.
Yeah, Anne Margaret.
I'd still do her.
How old is she? She's got to be.
She's got to be close to 60 or in her 60s if she was doing Elvis movies in the 60s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a career. Yeah. If that was the only way I was going to be able to get anything, there's no way.
Maybe part of it is the mystique. It's you. It's not just some 80-year-old guy. It's Hugh Hefner.
Well, take an 80-year-old famous chick. Golda Meir or somebody like that.
No.
She's still alive?
No, I don't think.
Yeah. Can you imagine screwing that for a movie part or to be in a magazine?
Not a billion, no.
We'd have to use my own vomit for lubrication.
Okay, now
let's go.
Now I can go.
Hold on. Is that Chloe? Chloe.
Yo, hey, what's up, brother?
Where are you?
I'm hanging out. Hanging out here down. The freaking Bud Light stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm at the river. The river, like the people on the river, the strange thing.
That's not far
all
from
the
Bourbon
people
Street.
that are hanging out right now.
How come you didn't go back to the hotel?
Well, the people at the hotel, they were rude. They were being a-holes, and like they didn't like me at all. So.
Did you go to your own hotel?
Yes.
What did they say when you got there?
They hated me. They told me to go away. They told me they hated me. They're freaking a-hole. And you know what? And honestly, I hate those.
Hey.
Yeah.
Easy.
Chloe, you have to stay someplace. You got to go back to the hotel. Do we need to call them?
You know, I don't care. You know, honestly, Russ, I don't care if I freaking stay. I don't care. I don't care if I stay if they're.
Okay. He's off.
He's lost it. Wow.
Yeah. Rob.
I can't help you on this one.
Can you call the hotel and tell them to let him into his room?
He hasn't even been to the hotel yet.
You're calling to the wrong one.
Oh.
My key doesn't work. You don't stay here.
They explain why they hate him.
My key isn't work. That's a squashed beer can. Exactly what I thought. Exactly.
The Russ Martin Show.
All the local channels and the TVs in here. I see the station's care that Nolan Ryan's the new president of the Rangers.
Yeah. Well, they've been teasing it all day, I guess.
Well, the official announcement was at 3 o'clock. I don't know who it was that introduced Hicks. I think it was a former teammate of Ryan. Did you guys listen to the press conference?
I did not. No.
Said he had played with Nolan before. Mm-hmm. One of his favorite things to do was grunt on his fastball. How about that? We got us the capuchin.
No.
He didn't even explain why he told the story. Just Nolan grunts on his fastballs.
Just trying to show a little personal twist to it. That's how well I
don't
know
bring
it.
up one of my fetishes.
I know I think he's just probably talking about like that chick, that hot little tennis chick that grunts.
Who was that?
Maria Sharapova.
I think all of them grunt, though, don't they?
She's the worst, though. It's so loud, it's funny.
Well, what was it that we watched one day in here for a half an hour?
That was her.
It was her. I forget which tournament. It was probably the U.S. Open, but it was one of her matches.
It's like when somebody does that in the gym. I can't focus.
Yeah, there's some guys that overplay it at the gym. I don't care how much weight they're not using.
Right.
It's always a show. For what? And I don't know why, but it's the older guys.
It is, I know one of the older guys you're talking about. He's so loud, it was funny. You watch the guys that pick up 800, 900 pounds, they don't make that kind of noise.
So they're not going to waste the expenditure of energy grunting so I can pull this train. I can't grab a weight if I know that guy's about to do something because I'm going to drop it on myself.
Well, is he actually working with heavy weight?
No, he's
it's
probably some guy in his late 40s, pudgy, balding, and just lifting anything.
So he's just compensating.
It's irritating as F.
Is he the guy that wears the disco clothes, or is that somebody else? Somebody that comes in there with a bandana and the tight pants. They look like they're
You're talking about Flashdance. I haven't seen him in a while.
I remember I saw him a couple of times when we were at the South Lake Club with you. I remember seeing him. You had pointed him out.
Yeah, well, he's a younger guy that drove a Drove like a 60s Corvette, and it looks like he was doing mods on the car by himself with a torch.
I remember. And he'd park it out and take up 2 or 3 spots. Don't get near the vet.
Right. And he'd wear the like the capri pants, some kind of undershirt, and then something over that with a bandana. And we just called him Flashdance.
How do you look in the mirror and go, I'm ready to go to the gym?
Oh, man, I need to layer one more thing on here.
Oh, yeah, the frightening...
Probably everybody he hangs out with dresses just like that.
I guess.
And you look at the outside world as a bunch of fools.
Everybody else in the gym dresses normally.
Fine. Pay no homage to Irene Cara. Screw you all.
What a feeling.
No, he never really made any noise.
No.
He did come up and try and talk to me once, and it looks like somebody had taken his teeth and filled in all the cracks. And I didn't talk to him long enough to ask where you cracks. It was just smooth straight across the front.
Perfect veneers.
Veneers would have cracks.
Yeah, you'd think.
Are you sure he wasn't wearing a mouthpiece? Like a mouth guard?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because, the top of his mouth didn't stick out far enough to where there was something in there.
Okay. I was just curious because I have seen some power lifters that will go that extra mile just in case.
Could it be really thin?
What?
In case you drop 1,000 pounds and you don't want to bite through your tongue or your teeth or what have you.
Could they be really thin then?
I guess it's possible, but I haven't seen any really thin.
Are you nodding your head, Chuck?
Yes, they make braces like that.
All right. Well, maybe that's what it was. But it just added to his overall appeal.
And he tried to talk to you?
What's he asking me about? I think I drove the Corvette one day, and he was asking. I don't know if he wanted to
take a piece off of it.
Yeah. You use a hood?
That sure looked good on mine.
I couldn't pay attention. All I know is there was a stench coming out of his mouth, and his teeth were flat.
No, I must go back and see him.
I haven't seen him in a while. He always had that nice flat top we look forward to.
But the Gruntenmeister is still there?
Yeah, that's an old guy. And without exaggeration, he really could be on the other side of the gym. Mm-hmm. Larry North and South Lake, I don't know, what is it? A couple 100 feet across?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real narrow, just really long.
I couldn't work out. He was doing that. I'd have to stop.
And he wouldn't do it in a pattern where you could get used to it. It would be a couple of those.
Don't some gyms actually have rules against that? I mean, they actually can walk up to you and go, hey, knock it off.
I'd ask Kevin if they'd ever said anything to him.
Yeah.
And he said, I trained him for a while, and he wouldn't listen to me, so I just stopped, gave him to somebody else. So anybody that trains him knows that everybody else in the gym, you got the short straw.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about him?
Because Nolan Ryan grunts on his balls.
Oh.
And someone that just tuned in right now.
So how is that going to change the Rangers?
Really, I'm not really sure yet because
short of the image.
Well, obviously, aside from that, the last president that they had, they didn't have a whole lot of everyday control over the team.
Who was the last guy?
I have it here. Let me find his name. If it was in
he went to the Start. Lights?
It was Tom Schieffer.
Okay.
And he left the Rangers to go do the same job with the Stars.
Okay. You're holding the story. What does it say?
It just says the Texas Rangers had their news conference today to announce the return of Nolan Ryan as team president. The club made overtures to Ryan last month about rejoining the club in some kind of role. Those talks quickly moved from being mostly about real estate deals into the club's presidency. Ryan replaces, Jeff Kogan is the one that moved to the Dallas Stars in November. What is yet to be determined is whether Ryan will have oversight responsibilities over the club's baseball operation. Known team president since Tom Schieffer left the club has had those responsibilities. Rangers owner Tom Hicks has set up his power structure to have both the GM and president report directly to him while keeping those two responsibilities separate.
The generic job of the president would be what? It's because at this point, since you guys really don't have any details, it sounds like a figurehead.
Well, that's what he's been doing, right? Down in Houston. He's just kind of been a goodwill ambassador.
For whom?
The Astros.
Nolan has?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And previously, that was up in, I think, until he was doing that the last few years. Prior to that, he was doing the same thing for the Rangers.
Went down there. Got the foundation set. We'll come up here. Because I know in Houston now it's set for life.
I saw one of his foundation spots today, and it's the first thing I thought of. It's like, there's more foundation spots coming to our area.
I just wondered if that would have to stop.
I
Being
thought
president of the Rangers, you would... I don't know that you want your president out doing spots for whatever.
For any kind of, yeah.
And I would say for Nolan Ryan, you would make that exception. I mean, he's Nolan Ryan, the Hall of Fame pitching legend before he's your team president. I mean, that's part of the reason why you made him your team president.
He's pitching foundation, repairing meat? Yeah. And he's selling meat?
I missed this one.
Sausages or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
He's pitching.
Doesn't he have a line of pants? He's selling pants?
I haven't seen that.
But I'm right about the meat.
Yes.
What kind of meat?
I don't know. The pants don't throw you off?
I haven't seen the pant or the meat. But meat's odder than pants.
I think it's Hager.
They still make Hager?
Hager or Wrangler were the two. Yeah.
He seems a little more like he'd be Wrangler. And the meat, I don't know. It could just be Nolan Ryan steaks.
Okay.
What are you looking for, Dan?
I'm just seeing if I can find a list of his endorsements.
You need to knock it off with the meat. Sorry. You're going to be a president.
I stay with the meat. That goes along with baseball and just Texas.
Yeah.
Get rid of the pants.
How much could they possibly pay him?
Stick his name on anything.
He needs it.
What does Gene Simmons with Kiss need?
No, you got a point.
It doesn't matter what it is. If it's big enough to get the 4 letters on it, he'll sell it.
At some point you just go, it doesn't matter. It's not really even about the money now. It's just about how much crap I can get out there.
Well, he didn't even, compared to today's salary, he didn't.
What are we talking about?
Nolan Ryan.
All right.
He didn't make the exorbitant amounts that pitchers do today.
Even being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because, that was, he retired 10 years ago, probably.
He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 99.
Okay, so probably...
Was it early 90s he retired?
Okay. Yeah. They probably make triple what he did.
At one point, didn't he have the fastest fastball?
On record, yes.
Probably the grunt.
Give it a little extra spin.
Catch this.
The umpires are looking for spit.
They're going to think you got pine tar on your back. Yes, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
He has his own, his beef company. They sell like steaks and stuff like that in grocery stores. It's Nolan Ryan Beef.
You know about his pants?
I don't.
All right, maybe it's somebody else then. All right, does he have his own ranch, or they just stick his name on his meat?
No, I think he raised, not him personally, but I think the name of his company, like they raise their own beef. I don't think a steak company pays him for his name. I think they raise it themselves.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Does he do anything else?
I know he did Advil commercials for a while.
I just meant in private life. Like Walt Garrison has his own ranch. Roger Staubach has his own
almost sure that
realty.
He has a ranch.
Ranch, yeah. So he probably raises cattle.
Pants.
I'm going to pitch an over around on pants. I ain't going to be in that meeting.
You don't have to. All my cows are already very comfortable in their own pants.
You ever see what he does with his fastballs? He won't go in there.
What is this link, Dan?
It's a link to Nolan Ryan's beef.
Don't send me no picture of his...
Damn, you figured
I
it
know
out.
what's going to be on one of the walls. A word from Nolan. Thanks for your interest in our product. While you may know me as a baseball player, cattle business has always been my first passion. I started raising cattle when I was very young, even when I was just dedicated to producing the best beef possible as I am today. I'm confident you'll enjoy our product, and I'm proud to put my personal guarantee behind each product we sell. If you're not completely satisfied with your purchase, here's some pants. Just let us know. Give us a call. Sincerely Nolan. Recipe, selecting steaks. Okay, so he's got his own. Yeah, it sounds like it's more than he just slapped his name on something.
Yeah.
Select.
So where he buys it, they sell it. I'd like to actually try it now that I know he has his own beef. It's like Kobe beef or something like that.
Well, let me look. T-bone porterhouse, filet, tenderloin, ribeye, New York, gourmet steak burgers. Join our meat fan club.
Sold only out of the back of trucks.
T-bone. Bone-in steaks, boldly beefy flavor. I'll look for that in my meat. It's enhanced by our aging process. T-bone is 2 steaks in 1. Okay. Doesn't say anything like the Kobe.
Okay.
I think the Kobe's too expensive to raise, isn't it?
Well,
What?
yeah, I mean, the intensive labor that goes into hoisting a cow from the ground, its feet never touching the ground, and you massage it every day and feed it.
They don't let that thing walk around?
Mm-mm.
I thought that was veal.
Veal is just young calves. Kobe.
And veal they keep in a small enclosure, right?
Right.
All right, Kobe is what?
Kobe, the cow never touches the ground. It's born, they put it in a harness, and from that day forward, they feed it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Milk and honey, and they massage it with sake and...
Hold on, Trey. Which part's terrible?
The part that they never let the cow walk around.
You take me out of a womb and you hang me up and you treat me like that forever. Am I all right with that?
You're going to be hung by it. You're never going to get to walk.
I'm getting milk and honey and massaged every day. That way, obviously, I'm not going to get the atrophy because they're massaging me.
That's just beyond horrible.
No, it's not.
To hang a cow?
It's not hanging by its head.
I realize that.
He's in a harness.
He's in a harness. Can't walk around.
Are you really? I'm sure he'd kick his legs. It's just out of the absolute sheer joy.
I guess he doesn't know what's coming.
At what age do they kill him?
I think about a year.
Oh. Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, what?
Well, they're cows. I'm sure they get complacent. They're thinking, well, this is never going to end. So, you don't have to zip them with the lorazepam just because they start getting wiggy 11 months into it.
What a great life I'm leading. What's that hammer for?
I bet they're going to build a tribute to me. That stupid pig on the ground's about to eat it. Stupid pig. Well. All right, we'll move on from this. This bit's dead. What are you looking at before we start this, Dan?
I was just checking the Wikipedia for the Kobe beef.
What does it say?
It refers to the beef from the black Tajima Ushi breed of Wagyu cattle, raised according to the strict tradition of something else I can't pronounce in Japan. These practices may include a diet of sake and beer, and daily massages to relieve muscle stiffness, presumably resulting in tender meat. Cow living better than I am.
Yeah, for a year.
How much does your massage cost that you get like every however many weeks?
Well, and think about it this way. A cow's natural lifespan is what?
For a beef cow, probably 2 years.
A natural lifespan.
Oh, and
if you get slaughtered, you got to take natural out.
Sorry, 20 years.
All right, well, that's not that good of a deal then.
I just think it's horrible. They put them up in slings.
Why is it
the
they don't let
massage
them?
part is nice.
Why is it they don't let them walk?
Because they don't want them to get their muscles to get tough.
Well, you don't need the
I
muscle.
want to say I had Kobe beef somewhere, and it was really, really, really tender.
Oh, yeah.
Tender.
It's because it wasn't walking around.
Ooh.
I'm trying to find out if that's...
I don't care. Let's just start news. How long before we need a break, Chloe?
2 minutes.
All right. What are you laughing at?
Well,
Why?
Stupid pig. I've been wanting you to get it for weeks. And here they come with the hammer.
You live in mud for your entire life. A dildo. All right, you ready to start?
Sure.
Are you still looking?
I'm just researching, man.
All right.
I'd like to know.
What was line one? It was Wranglers? Okay. Is that what you said, Chloe?
Wranglers or Hager's.
Yeah. Okay. All right. 3:33. Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. Wednesday, February 6, 2008. Birthdays today. Axl Rose is 46. Natalie Cole is 58. Tom Brokaw turns 68.
Axel's only 46, and he's already had all that plastic surgery?
I haven't seen him recently. Has he looked...
Chloe, have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
I think not only plastic surgery, looks like maybe he had hair plugs.
I didn't see that part because he had a bandana on when I saw him, and he's gotten fat and skinny a bunch of times, and that's kind of messed with him too. Because I thought that was it, but when I got a better picture of him, I was like, oh.
He doesn't look as bad as Mickey Rourke, but he's gravitating that way.
Yeah, it's amazing how I don't know how old the guys in Motley Crue are, but they're, pushing, if they're not at 40, a little bit over, and they still look great. Nikki Sixx, after all the drugs and everything he did, he looks awesome. And he hasn't had any plastic surgery or anything.
And Axel's how old? 47?
46 today.
46, yes.
He looks like he's 50-something.
And that's after plastic surgery.
Yeah.
How could you be that vain?
God. Are you serious?
About what?
You want to be sucked and blown and
I don't want to have any plastic surgery on my face.
On your ass and your stomach and everywhere else.
Well, if that goes bad, nobody really sees it. You get it done on your face, and it's not perfect. You got to live with that. Yeah. And there's no way to go back and correct it. Because I'm sure Mickey Rourke's given it a few shots. He was on Letterman one night. No freaking clue what he said because all you can do is stare.
He doesn't look anything like himself.
No.
Who's the porn star that looks like a different human being?
James.
Yeah.
Cool. Different human being.
And I think she's only in her 30s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was gorgeous. I don't know what got into her to have all that work done.
And with the unlimited resources, you really would think Hollywood would be the place where you go and this would be done.
No one would ever notice.
Would be done right.
I think the problem is these stars get their head what they want done, and they're surgeons that for the right amount of money, they'll do it even against their own advice.
I don't know who did Jerry Jones, but if that ever comes out, that's where I'm going. Because if you didn't know him ahead of time, you'd never know he had plastic surgery.
Nope. Looks great.
Had his turkey thing cut off, teeth fixed.
For the most part, it's growing back a little bit.
Well, when did he have all this work done? 10 years ago?
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, it was at least...
What, you mean his new facelift?
Yeah.
That wasn't 10 years. That was only a few years ago.
It's been at least 6.
I think it was a process. I don't think he got it all done at once. Doesn't make any difference. That's where I'm going.
I'm going to be the person to go to. And you ain't getting it done. You're not getting your butt sucked either.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You don't need it. No, if a doctor that you trust comes in this studio and says, you don't need this, I won't do it. Don't you think maybe that should be a heads up that you don't need it?
What he wants me to do is to exercise more and stop drinking. And I'll have none of that. I'm still coming to terms with what Larry told me yesterday.
What?
Of the not drinking at all.
You asked him a question and he gave you an answer. He said the reason that you're not leaning up in the belly area is because of the drinking.
I bumped up cardio. I'm eating leaner.
You ask a nutritionist. You ask a guy that owns the gym.
Well, that's their job. They can't come out, especially on the air, and say, all right, drinking's all right, but you're going to have to do this instead.
Why not?
He tells me to smoke weed.
And tells us they think 2 girls in a cup is quite nasty.
We got an email.
I bet it took him almost 3 minutes to realize we were talking about porn.
We got an email about him, yesterday.
Because Larry listens almost like he's on the delay.
Uh-huh.
He's in the room. He's having a good time. He figures if he just stands there and smiles, even though he doesn't understand what's going on, he'll feel like one of the guys. Larry, you seen the thing, the 2 chicks, 1 cup? Yeah. No!
Hey, boss man, don't you think you should show a little more class and respect for people like Larry North? Honestly, talking about porn sites and masturbation is rude and potentially harmful to somebody with his reputation. I still love the show.
I don't believe we had him tethered in here.
No, we didn't.
And at one point, it did look like, especially when he figured out the 2 chicks, 1 cup, he decided it was
time to leave.
I'd said enough. And he looked like he was going to leave, and then he just kind of...
Well, if I leave now, it would look like I'm guilty, so I'll stay here. If I could just shut up.
I got an email from him this morning. Thanks for having me on. Hope I'm being a real person, that was okay. It didn't offend anybody.
Yeah, it was. It was fine with us.
You could have... We got you a cup to play in if you wanted.
Goes back to his office. 2 cups.
Were you about to read something else?
Oh, I got just several here. This is about women. Let's see here. Well, there's 2 in a row about women. This is about the foundation.
All right, one day maybe you can get to it. Thank you.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Hi, Gail.
Hi.
What do you got?
I've got Cantina Laredo and some good news in Haltom City. Northbound 121 is no longer shut down before Haltom Road. It's unwinding from 35. In North Richland Hills, eastbound Loop 820 at Meadow Lakes, a stalled car backed up to Beach. And in Dallas, on southbound 35 Simmons before Continental, the 2 right lanes are blocked by a crash. Heavy traffic from Commonwealth. In Garland, southbound Highway 78 at Murphy Road, there's a wreck causing a backup to 3rd Street. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
Thanks, Gail. Very cold again tonight, but right around 32 for the overnight low, 60 for the high tomorrow, so not too bad. We are at 51 now at Live 105.3.
So Diane's going to do my questions tonight?
Yes.
All right. Did you guys add any more?
Still working on it.
Which means they're not in here.
Yes.
Why is it?
Because I haven't been able to piece the 2 together, and
Can't cut and paste?
I do not have time.
You like watching him squirm?
I know, yeah, you enjoy it. It's less comfortable for me because I've been there.
Oh.
I can have empathy.
I believe I would let that one go and just revel in it.
Okay.
How many more questions did you add?
About 10 more.
Are you in pain?
Excruciating.
Would you like me to stop?
I doubt you will.
Still your back?
Yes.
What do you want now?
Hydrocodone.
I can tell when you walking in the building, you were in pain. Just the way you're walking.
Is there nothing that they can do for your back
I'm going to an orthopedic tomorrow morning.
How long have you had the problem?
10 days.
I thought this was a reoccurring thing.
This has been totally different. I really thought it was just a pinched nerve and it would go away, but...
Did you go to Dr. Rodriguez?
He's out of town.
Oh.
But I've been to a chiropractor, a masseuse, reflexologist, and nothing's... So I'm...
You think possibly it could be surgery? Is it some kind of disc thing?
It's very possible.
Football?
I don't know what happened that triggered this. I've never had...
Running from nutty chicks.
That'll do it.
I've never really had a problem.
Yeah, I fell down the stairs when I was running from Diane.
Did you really?
I lived on the 3rd floor.
I remember that.
I forget why she was stalking me that day.
That day.
Beat down the door. I ain't going to answer it.
No.
So then you listen for it and go back down they were metal/stone stairs. So you could hear every step, especially with her fat ass. She's not here.
She's in town.
So I counted just enough steps. And I looked out the window to make sure because I knew she'd stand out there and just stomp in one place.
Sure.
God, as soon as she got to a spot where I knew I could make a run for it, I left the apartment. And now I'm going down each flight. I fell completely down the last one. And well, that's it.
She's going to get me.
This is normally where they die.
And when you trip and fall, that's it.
And I'm running towards the car, and I hear her screaming at me in the background. And all I'm saying to myself is, focus. Focus. Get the keys out, start the car, focus. Don't look where she is, because that's not going to change anything, and that's going to keep you from getting in the car when you need to. Just do what you're doing. Then I turn and look, and I screamed, and I finally got in the car.
It's exactly out of a horror film. Right. You're running and falling. You turn and look. She's just walking. She knows she'll get there.
Yeah.
I don't know why people stop and look. How much time do I have?
Well,
because if you stop and do that, you've eaten up some of the time that you could have used to save yourself.
I was thinking in your brain, you think, well, if it's really going to happen, I got to brace myself.
Or possibly you check, you see where they are, and go, okay, I can't get in the car. Either I'll run,
running,
or I'll swallow this cyanide capsule that I've kept for emergencies.
You guys had the funniest relationship.
I don't know why I was afraid of her,
on.
because really, had I wanted to, I could have knocked her out.
Oh, no. Well, she's a big girl, but
there was just something about her demeanor that was just very cryptic.
She chased you all the time. How long did y'all date? Because every time I heard about it, it was a story about somebody chasing somebody. It was always you being chased. Always.
82 to 87.
Damn, I didn't realize it was that long.
How big was she?
She's probably about 5'10", 5'9".
So not fat like the first girl you screwed?
You're a big bucket of I didn't have a choice of who I was going to screw when I was 16. You're in Pleasant Grove, you take whatever's in stock.
So a fat chick with a missing tooth and a baby?
She didn't have a missing tooth.
It was chipped.
No, she had one tooth and the rest of them were gone. She just had a chipped tooth.
She had a found tooth.
A what?
She had a tooth that was found.
One left.
Like it came back?
Yeah.
Look, a carrier tooth. Let's see what the note says. She wasn't morbidly fat. She was just trying to think of somebody in the building to compare her to. And nobody say Lee Harris.
Damn. Yeah, right where I was going.
Throw out an actress that's kind of portly that you'd screw in a pinch.
Ricky Lake?
Yeah, at this point, after she's lost all that weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't gained it back.
As of today, no.
Yeah, sort of Ricky Lake-ish with a chipped tooth and a bibby.
And how'd the relationship end?
She left me for some guy. Well, it doesn't matter who it was, she left me. I can't hang on to a fat, one-tooth chick with a baby.
You were very young back then. You've done better since.
Who'd she leave me for? With some other guy that she met on the CB.
A mechanic or a truck driver? Or?
Didn't he have a tow truck?
That was it.
They met on the CB.
Is that how the two of you met?
Yes.
And was your screen name handle?
No.
Say it.
I've cut everybody enough slack for not having all their stuff in the studio.
That was back then.
I don't care if it happened to somebody else. It was the 70s.
70s. I had a CB handle. I'll be glad to tell mine what mine was.
What was it?
Skyhawk.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Chuck, did you have one?
No.
You never had a CB?
I had one. I just listened.
No. Chloe? What?
Mine was just Tiger.
I swear.
Well, I lose.
Yours is representative of your witty personality. That's all.
Let me tighten up my anus before you say it. Go ahead.
Cow patty daddy.
Thank you.
Come back.
I'm sorry. I'm fascinated by the CB thing because I didn't have one.
You know how they work, though, right?
Well, yeah, it's got the microphone. You push the button, and everyone hears chatter on different frequencies, I'm assuming.
Right.
Okay. I'm just wondering how...
Think of it as MySpace with a bunch of white trash.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Everybody has their own handle. Think of that as your page.
Okay.
And you communicate with anybody that you want to.
Gotcha.
And then you would have them break down into factions. You know, everybody would meet on 19. And then you go, hey, there's too much traffic here. Let's go talk on 12. So all of a sudden people would start gathering on 12. and then you were just known as the 12s.
Right. So
and then sometimes each channel would go play softball against another one.
Gotcha. So it's sort of like the original chat room.
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes, when you're out doing whatever, one of the group functions, we did charity things. See somebody, end up banging them.
Even if they were fat without teeth.
She had teeth. She just had one that wasn't quite up to spec.
Wasn't there any longer. Or chipped.
I remember the guy with the tow truck.
Mm-hmm.
King Ding Dong. And I knew the fact that he had that uniform, I was going to lose her.
Man, a uniform? He had a tow truck.
He also drove a station wagon.
You lost her to a guy with a tow truck.
And a station wagon.
Yeah.
King Ding Dong in the Dick Dragon station wagon.
Why don't you expect to hang on to something?
First of all, you got a guy with two vehicles, you got a uniform, and you got a flashy name.
Forget it. You didn't have a chance.
I'm sure you weren't the only guy to lose a chip to him.
He was like the 70s Captain Stabbing just a tow truck instead. And that title, I'll be damned.
She didn't have a chance in hell.
We need to get CBs. We've talked about that one time, but we never did it. You don't have to have them installed. They got them you can carry around now. All 40 channels. Still
but if it's a handheld, you're not going to get the same range out of it. You got to have it installed.
That's true.
I'm going to put one in the General Lee. I got room in the trunk. I think with a decent unit, you can probably get a range of 10, 15 miles.
That far, really? Still?
Yeah.
I always thought they were like 2 or 3 miles.
No, with full unit. Plus, if you get your linear.
You gonna put a linear antenna on your truck?
Yeah.
And you're going to drive to your neighborhood with it?
I got a 69 Charger with a Rebel flag on the top. I don't think that there's anything I can do in that neighborhood right now to make them stop and point harder.
I know. That was a TV car. This is going to be a regular truck with a linear.
Well, you don't have to get a special antenna. You just put the amp in between the CB and the antenna.
Yeah, we could do it. There's still CB shops around. We're coming back from Shreveport, and there's a CB shop out of all places. Garland.
That Trip Tex?
It just says CB shop.
I think it's Trip Tex. Is it? Trey, you want to get one? Put one on the Mercedes.
It's already been keyed.
Yeah. Get one of those long ones like they used to put on the top cars.
Yeah.
Where the big base is at the back, it would loop all the way up to the front of the car. Then when you was ready to key up, you just flip the lever and it go flinging up. Man, that's like a chick antenna.
Yeah.
All right. You want to pick up where we left off with things?
Sure.
Why are we talking about my one-tooth chick?
Diane. I asked how big Diane was.
Oh, all right. Did we finish with Diane's story?
Diane was stocky. She was like a softball player. She wasn't fat. She was just tough.
She got me in her legs one time because she had the softball player legs. Mm-hmm. And once you're there, you give her anything she wants. Maybe that's what I was afraid of.
Well, you were lean back then, too. You were really skinny. And so she could probably hold you down pretty well, I would guess.
But why is it I'm still scared of her 25, 26 years later?
That's still in the back of your head, being chased.
Because when Trey was talking about bringing her up here just as a reunion, I really got clammy.
It's because it's all in the back of your head. You've been chased by somebody.
Well, also at the time she was chasing me, she didn't know I was screwing her roommate. She knows that now.
That's true. Yeah.
She's had plenty of time to get over it.
No, she hadn't. You don't know Diane. It's making me clammy thinking about it.
Chase me everywhere nonstop. And you know the story of I'm riding around in the station van in the middle of the night with one of the other guys. She shows up at the station looking for me.
And I'm working.
JD's on the air. She's in the lobby. JD calls me on the two-way. Diane's up here. A little bit you don't know where I am.
Pause.
She can hear you, Ray. Because there's a two-way in the lobby.
I guess maybe I should have included that in my conversation. She's here in the lobby near the two-way. Russ.
So I had Adam drop me off, and I went and hung out at one of the other guys' house. She found me over there, having no clue where I was going. And we're both sitting in his house. All of a sudden, the door starts rattling. We flip all the lights off, and we sit in the corner, and we just waited for it to happen.
I wish you were making this up. These are all true stories.
She said she'd be willing to come up.
Be the first time in 20 years she can get a hold of me.
Yeah, she emailed me, a year or so ago. And I can't remember what it was about, but she was very nice, very friendly.
She's gonna be friendly to you. She's gonna make it seem like everything's warm. It's all in the past. It's okay that I was screwing Sandy and we both hid it from her. All she wants to do is come up here and finish. In her mind, that's closure.
Seems to me she'd be mad at me.
I don't want to. I sing Jurassic Park.
Just seems to me she'd be mad at Sandy, not you. You're a guy. You're gonna, if Sandy spreads her legs for you, that's gonna happen. She'd really be mad at her friend Sandy because that was her friend. You were just her boyfriend.
I still don't want her up here. And that's not a bit I want to milk.
I think that would be fun. One day, we're all here. She's not going to do anything.
What are we going to do? We're going to have time trials?
No, just have her come in and talk. Talk about the old days. That she's over you. She's done. In fact, that was part of her email. She goes, you know what? Things happen for a reason. That was the very best thing that could ever happen. See, he and I break up. I've moved on. I'm happy. I have kids. Let me at him.
I still don't understand. I know it's been a long time, but I don't think you just let those feelings of anger go.
No, if somebody screwed me around, I don't care when it was. You're screwing one of my friends, especially a roommate, and my best friend in the apartment that we lived in. I'm not going to let that go, and I'm not going to let Diane or her baby raptors come up here and get me. Because those are fast.
That would be compelling radio.
Now, how did she find out you were banging her roommate?
I talked about it on the air about 10 years after it happened.
Oh.
I figured at that point, the smoke had cleared.
Bygones.
I get home. She's all over the answering machine. Never left a message. Just on the caller ID, same number, over and over and over, and a bunch of hang-ups. It could have been messages. I don't know. I threw it away.
She found a way to slip it inside your machine.
I didn't want to hear anything if it was there. It was just, this is old.
And that was 10 years after it?
And stop it!
And it's been 10 years since. She's fine. Looking at the ceiling panels. No one's coming in.
They come out of the ceiling.
Not in here. You're safe.
You ready for news?
We have cameras.
Sure. All right, do we have time?
Yeah, bring it.
4:08. Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. To continue with birthdays, Mike Farrell is 69, Rip Torn turns 77, and Zsa Zsa Gabor turns 91.
Oh, what I was going to tell you guys, with the lie detector questions, if you want to make it more than just, am I a racist, add whatever else you want. I won't know who wrote the questions.
Okay.
If it's things that you want to know. If Diane's going to come up and she's going to go through the whole process of setting my levels, it doesn't matter at that point how many questions you ask.
All right. I'll add some too then.
Dan, do you have some?
News or questions?
Questions. You don't have to tell me what they are. Everyone will have complete anonymity. There'll be no way for me to know.
I'll think about it.
You give them all to Trey. He'll print them up. You're in the clear.
Okay. Very good. I'll do 10 questions. How many do we have now that aren't in here?
Sorry. 20?
About 20.
Yeah. Flo, do you have any you want to throw in?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
What about Gavin?
Gavin, are you curious about anything?
Yes.
You want to tell me, or you want to go under a cloak?
No, I can ask you right now.
All right, go ahead.
You like me?
You want me to write these down?
Well, you can answer them now. I trust your answer.
All right. Yes, I like you.
Nice. Okay. Do you really believe I'm gay?
No.
See? This is good. This is healthy.
That one may get a little wiggly on the scale.
Oh.
How was the game last night?
Oh, it's great, man.
All right, so the Stars won.
Oh, yeah, we won in overtime. It was awesome. We won in a shootout. It was the bomb.
The score was?
Final score was, it would be 3-2 officially. Yeah.
Can I ask what a shootout is? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Sure, I'll explain it real quick. There's a 5-minute overtime, and if nobody scores, then basically each team gets 3 players to shoot one-on-one with the goalie. And at the end of those 3 shooters each, if they're tied, then they keep going down the list. They go 1 shooter from Dallas, 1 shooter from Vancouver. So on the 6th shooter, we won.
Okay. I don't know if I get it.
You had to go 6 down. You had to have 6 people.
There's nobody on the ice but a goalie and one of their players.
That's correct.
And do you alternate back and forth? Their team, your team?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
So if they make it on the first time,
then it's over.
No, because then your player has to go. If he makes it.
All right, the first time somebody misses, you're out.
Well, not until after the first 3. It's best 2 out of 3.
Okay.
But if all 3 stop, the goalie stop all 3 each
Hey,
side.
the Stars win?
Yes.
All right. I don't really care how. How was Gavin at the game, Chuck?
I'm not going again.
Gavin?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
You know, I had a playoff atmosphere, so I think Chuck got mad when I still tried to do the USA chant.
Did anybody else join in?
No. My section's like all business people and everything.
Chuck, was he like that through the entire game?
The whole game.
Did it get worse as they got to the shootout?
Oh, yeah.
Gavin, why would you think I would want to go with you if you can't just sit there and enjoy the game or be normal?
Oh, I'll be normal if you...
Because if you're spastic, I don't want somebody to think that I brought my own monkey.
No, it's just a different side of me. A side I'd like you to see.
He is a different person, I promise you that, at the games. He is not the Gavin that we see here. As wacky as he can be here, right? He's insane, over the top.
I'm just a fan. It was like 3 hours of release.
Hey, but you're surrounded by people that aren't just zealots. I mean, there's the fanatical section way up top. They're okay to do that stuff.
You know what? Maybe if I sat on the other side and I could just watch,
yeah,
then it would be more of an event as opposed to an embarrassment.
No. It's not going to be an embarrassment. It'll be great.
Steve Ott left me a message about getting me down on the ice. I think he said he couldn't do it during the game because that's banned.
Okay.
But I bet he can get me a seat someplace not near you.
Well, you want me to talk to Otter?
He doesn't like you to call him that. But he did say it was okay for me to call him Otter.
What? No. No, you're moving in on my territory now.
I didn't tell him to call. We had him on the show. He said you needed to shut up. He invited me out to one of the games.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. They're my buddies, not yours.
I didn't ask him to call me.
But they're my buddies, and you're stealing my friends.
But they don't want you to come to the games.
Yeah. They're not really friends. Think about this. They're not really your friends if they don't like you. Okay?
They're just saying that. They're just trying to be politically correct.
Because you're distracting.
I'm not distracting.
All right, fine.
I did find it kind of funny during the shootout last night when I was yelling out who should shoot next.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, like because after they do 3 each, then the coach takes one at a time.
Break here.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So I was yelling out, pick Madonna, pick Moro.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
What do they play again?
We have a watching party Thursday night, tomorrow night, Minnesota Wild.
But they're back in town when?
Saturday night against St. Louis Blues.
Calm down. This Saturday.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
All right, maybe I'll go to that game.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't let the entire word slip.
No, but you got half of it in there.
Then a couple others peppered in.
I don't think if you get the hard K, if you leave the hard K off the end of it, I think you can skate on that one.
So, no, I think you did the right thing.
Anybody want to go with me? Now that Gavin's quieted down.
Sure, Saturday would be fun. We get some seats together.
I'll call Otter back.
All right.
And see.
Buddy.
How many? 3, 4? Chuck?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Do we have anything going on band-wise Saturday night?
No.
Okay. Club?
Yeah.
4, Dan? I'm working. All right.
Enjoy.
No.
Why not? It's a Saturday night.
It's us. Guys.
Okay, enjoy.
Penises. You got to have a penis that's actually stuck onto you.
And was that way originally when you came out?
It's Saturday night. That's our time together.
So you're not going?
I'll go. She can't have a seat.
No.
Go to a game.
It's guys. Men.
I know it's
guys' night out.
Okay.
You always had a problem with that terminology.
I got
we
it.
go to one of the topless bars, guys' night out.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Joey.
Well, yeah, we like to hang out together.
It's guys' night out.
I know.
I even walked over and went, did you misunderstand? No,
she always.
I'm hanging out here.
I did. I hang out with guys. Does it have to be only guys?
Yes.
Oh.
Again, especially going to the topless bar. It's like going to Poncho's, but bringing your own food.
That's Saturday.
Poncho's.
Yeah.
And I'm never using the flag.
All right. Well, I'll go.
What time's the game Saturday night?
Usually they start at 7:30.
Is that right, Gavin?
Yeah, usually, but Saturday's 7 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Tracy, if you can, I'll pull it off my cell phone. Call Otter. Getting a break.
Want to get right? We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
There's just no containing them.
The Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Sent me an email and you said, am I still interested in the mini bar? What was that?
I don't have a clue. When did I send it?
Week ago?
I sent you one because the broker for the place that you looked at that got stripped called me and wanted to know if we were still interested in that area.
Is this the one that wouldn't give me the year free rent?
Yes.
All right. Even though they said, well, all right, the guy moved out, he stripped it, but we've already got a few people lined up to take it. That was September of 06.
Yes.
It's still empty.
Yeah, and places around it are empty too.
Mm-hmm. Which is what you said would happen. I mean, that was such a great idea. Bring people to that area, automatic traffic, and give you a deal.
A small location, not more than maybe 3,500 square feet.
Yep.
Your overhead wasn't going to eat you up because it wasn't going to be hard to fill the place.
Could it possibly have cost them more, Trey, to be sitting on that versus having Russ in there for free?
Why would it cost them anything?
Well, I mean, obviously they're paying somebody. I wonder why they would make that kind of a decision.
I think they're just copping an attitude. Somebody come to, if they were to come to me, I own the place. Said, all right, I'll take it over, but I want a year free rent. I tell you to blow me too.
Yeah. So you get to sit on it.
Yeah.
And make nothing. And
even though logically it would make sense. All right, you go a year without rent. You still have somebody on the property maintaining it. Nothing's going to just start to fall apart. You're going to draw traffic in to some of the other places that you own in that strip center. There's no downside.
Because when we were in there sitting down, I noticed places in there, and I'd driven by there before and had no idea they were in there. The daycare place, a few others.
And all of those are gone?
Are they really?
Yeah, in fact, didn't they have something bigger that emptied?
Yes.
They wanted to talk to me about?
Yes.
How many square feet was that one?
6,300 square feet.
That a little big?
Yeah, it's a little big. I mean, you could definitely...
What kind of deal on rent?
Well, if you're willing to take the whole 6,300 square feet, they're asking $22 a foot, but they would come off of it if you take the whole thing.
Is there equipment in there now?
Nothing that would be for a restaurant.
Oh. What was it?
Daycare.
So your finish out would be complete, and you have to have almost everything put in.
Right. How much would they come off the $22 a square foot?
She wouldn't give me an exact number. I'm going to guess somewhere about 16.
Come down to or come off?
Come down to.
No. I want a year's free rent. Because that place is going to sit empty too. And in 2009, I'll call and tell them that. Now, Chloe was talking about, don't say the name of the company, a chain locally that's starting to go belly up, and there's one in, where is it?
Bedford. One in Bedford that closed, and there was one in, I believe, in Irving.
How big is the one in Bedford? Guess.
I would say at least 6,500 square, at least.
At least.
Yeah.
Is this the one with the dual level?
Oh, you know what, even more because of the dual level, yeah.
How long has that one been sitting empty?
Probably, maybe about a month.
Because that was a restaurant, unless they stripped that one out too. At least all the pipes and everything would be at least already run.
Yes.
And separate bar area.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a down. You know, I think there's only one bar area, and I think that might be the upstairs. I don't recall there being. No, there are two bars.
Okay. Yes. All right. Do you know can you find that, Trey?
Yeah, I can find it.
All right.
Let it go.
Why?
You're not going to get a bar. You're not going to open a bar. We're not going to finish Happy the Clown. And these things aren't going to happen. You never went to prison. Do I need to continue?
I could give you reasons why a lot of those things didn't happen.
There's lots of reasons, and there'll be more reasons, and there'll be more pain in your ass. And
not everybody that owns a restaurant or a bar has to be as squirrely as the first two people I dealt with. Both people were going belly up.
I know.
Both had debts that they'd never be able to pay off. Mm-hmm. I gave them a way out of that.
Everything to lose, everything to gain, nothing to lose for those people.
Remember the first guy? We were going to get him out of 120,000?
Yes.
Everything was ready to go. I go in, meet one last time. He said, I'm going to need $25,000 for myself.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's what I said. Because I remember we're already getting you out of $120,000 in debt. You don't have to do anything but get out. Nothing else.
Yeah, just
let
loose me the key.
Turn loose of the lease. Because he still had it, contractually it was still his. And the landlord said, well, you got to deal with him. Well, I'm going to need this. And I'm going to have some expenses to move. Yeah, I got a few things I need to pay off.
What trips I want to take?
Well, I'm not giving you anything. You're going to be out of this $120,000 thing that's going to follow you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you some folding money just so you can get out of here.
I just think
as a result, he hung on to it. Lost everything he had.
I think he thought, a radio guy, he's got a lot of money. He wants this bad. I know he does. So, just going to jack him around. And then it got to be who's got the bigger one. And, you pulled out your LBJ.
Second place was the same thing. Guy was under almost $200,000 in debt. Originally it was, he just wants out. The rent's $8,000 a month. That's all we want. Mm-hmm. $8,000. Well, what about up front? We want $8,000. Pay us the first month and the last month, and that's it.
It's yours.
So for $16,000, I can move in. That's it. I got to meet with him.
How did that one go bad again? I've forgotten.
He wanted me to pay off his loan on all the equipment. It was $150,000. So why don't you just go ahead and pay this off, and then you can keep all the equipment? No,
that wasn't the deal.
The deal was $8,000. And I get it.
I watched that one go belly up. And I was even there the night we met with him. And everything was copacetic. This is the deal. Thank you so much.
I thought I was going to have that place in my hands within a week and a half. And everything changed from day to day. Yeah. I get everything worked out with him on the phone. I said, I'll have the contract faxed over. By the time I got back to the house, he had already talked to either Trey or somebody else.
By the time you drove 5 minutes?
Yes. We've decided we're going to keep the property. What happened to he just told me he was going to sign the paperwork. Well, we've decided that's not a good deal for us. Okay. I'll wait.
And you have. I just think it's just not meant to be. Let's let this go. Plus, it's going to be a pain in your ass.
No, it's not. You find somebody to run and you stop by. It's not that far from where I live. I can check on it from time to time. The band can play there.
You micromanage things. You'll drive you crazy. You'll be up here every day.
I don't know anything about the restaurant
You'll be
business.
counting ice cubes.
I don't. I'm going to put ice cubes in the whiskey.
You can't do that. TABC will come in and shut you down.
I'm chilling it.
Add water to it.
You do that when you serve it to them.
Yes, but there's an amount of a pour you have to actually have in a glass.
Well,
and if half of it's water, you're in trouble.
But it used to be ice. What do you think that place would cost me in Bedford?
6,000 square feet.
More than you need to start off.
It is, but nobody says you got to finish. Just slow down. Nobody says you got to finish out the entire thing. Partition some of it off. Go ahead. Why is that funny?
Typically, cities won't let you do that.
Why?
Because
don't look back there. That's storage.
I can't put up something that says "Don't go back here." How about VIP only, and I never have any VIPs?
Possibly.
All right.
But then you're going to have to shut down if you ever want to finish it out.
Why? Not everything has to be done. What about the health code?
You can't have work going on in a place you're serving food.
Well, shut down for a couple of days.
Yeah, it never works that easy.
How many times have you done it?
I've watched it done about 4 or 5 times.
Okay. Well, you don't mind if I try something on my own, do I?
Absolutely not.
Because very seldom when I've got something done and I handle everything myself, I had it accomplished.
Okay.
My problem is I got too many people in this mix. You want to call them, find out, I'll take care of it from here on out. And we're going to have TV dinner night. We're going to serve pot pies. I'm not even going to buy fryers.
Suit yourself?
What, Chloe?
Weren't you going to put like half of it like an auto repair place or something?
I might even do that.
No. I'm going to go ahead and guess the city's not going to let you do that.
Why?
Have an auto repair place in a restaurant?
I'll run some tubes.
Not a truck stop.
Well, you still run it so the exhaust goes out a different direction.
My bad. With you, it probably will be a truck stop. Pot pie night.
You don't like that? You get somebody drunk, and they'll pay you extra for a nice Swanson.
That's, you know what? You do have a point. If they're drunk enough, they'll eat anything. You're right.
Open up for breakfast. So serve them those little variety packs of the cereal boxes. Let them cut them open. You got no dishes to wash.
Continental breakfast. This is going to be
How's that going to be a continental breakfast?
That's just normally what they do in the hotels. They have those little cereal deals. They call that a breakfast. The one in Shreveport did that. We have a continental breakfast. I'm like, well, that'll be nice.
What's the little variety cereal boxes that you slid open, you pour the milk in?
That was their breakfast. That was their continental breakfast. I thought, oh, maybe some nice rolls, possibly some toast. No.
All right. Call them during the break, Tracy, if you can find out who the real estate company is.
Okay.
All right. Ready for news?
Yeah.
All right. We'll start again here.
If you like.
442, Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. Senator John McCain said that he will bring the Republican Party together to win the presidency. McCain took the lion's share of Republican delegates on Super Tuesday, but still only had about 52% of the number needed to secure his party's nomination. On the Democratic side, Senator Hillary Clinton comes away with about 41% of the delegates needed for the nomination. While
I also heard she's out of cash. She may have to put her own money into the campaign to continue. Obama's just bringing it in nonstop.
He's bringing a ton of money.
I think the news today said last quarter, last month, whatever, she had to chunk in $5 million of her own money.
She's not going to win. I don't think so anyway.
She's got more candidates at this point. Delegates.
What are they saying? That Texas is probably going to be the swing state now?
It has a chance to be that, and of course, as Super Tuesday came to an end, it appears more likely Texas will play a major role in the nominations. In fact, Texans may be the final decision makers on the party nominees. When lawmakers failed to move up the March 4th primary, the original thinking was both nominations would be wrapped up Tuesday night. But many Texas Republicans and Democrats were excited to see that none of the candidates earned enough votes to clinch the nomination, and the Texas primary will be important.
Not even close. Here it says, let me see here. You got to have 2025. Clinton's got 845, and Obama's got 765. Pretty much a tie.
Obama carried more states. Hillary carried states with more people.
More delegates.
And
then McCain's got 613. Romney's as closest as anybody. He's 269.
All right, what is Cut 20 you want me to play?
Cut 20 is McCain and to his supporters last night.
We've won some of the biggest states in the country. We've won primaries in the West, the South, the Midwest, and the Northeast. And although I've never minded the role of the underdog...
Well, they make him talk through a toilet paper tube.
That audio was horrible. I had to cut off half of it because they had a microphone feeding in, and two people were just talking away while he was talking.
Oh.
We won some of the biggest states in the country. We've won primaries in the West, the South.
I actually stuck my weenie in this.
Yes, I see.
The Midwest and the Northeast. And although I've never minded the role of the underdog and have relished as much as anyone come from behind wins, tonight I think we must get used to the idea that we are the Republican Party frontrunner for the nomination of President of the United States. You know, I am, as is often reported, a little superstitious. So I don't want to make any exaggerated predictions, and there's still a long road ahead. However, I think it's fair to say that we might have come a little bit closer to the day when mothers in Arizona might be able to...
Whoever's running his sound, they started making music, and the second it goes away, it was whoever was running the sound needed to be shot.
Who was it that told him to stop using their music with his campaign?
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah.
You want to cut that out there, buddy? I don't support you.
I don't think legally he can stop it.
He can't stop him from just running it at campaign stops.
Tell their children that someday they could grow up to be President of the United States.
That it?
Yeah. If you want to hear Hillary's thing, that's 21, and Barack Obama's 22.
And both of them sold it like that. All right, we got this one wrapped up.
We're on. This is what we need for a new day. This is a new direction.
Well,
we're the team.
Just as far as hard numbers, Hillary's the front runner. She's got the most delegates.
Not by much.
Look at it, just
by a little over 100. You're right. How many delegates does Texas carry? Do we know?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're ready for a president who brings your voice, your values, and your dreams to your White House. Well, the Republicans want 8 more years of the same. They see tax cuts for the wealthy, and they say, why not more? They see $9 trillion in debt, say, why not trillions more? They see 5 years in Iraq and say, why not 100 more? Well, they've got until January 20th, 2009, and not one day more.
Whoa. Don't call her that. I did that once.
It just seemed natural.
Yeah, it does.
Is that all of this?
Wow, she just talks about what the Republicans are going to do. She never says what she's going to do. Just what
Republicans won't give up the White House without a fight. Well, let me be clear. I won't let anyone swift boat this country's future.
All right, and that tells me what?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
That's the reason I really can't get behind anybody. Nobody's going to tell me how they're going to play this out. And it's like that with any politics. It doesn't matter on what level. They're not going to give you specifics. And if you're not going to tell me that, you can tell me what's wrong now.
It's a new
that
day.
Doesn't mean I can walk outside and tell you what's wrong with your truck.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I can take care of it.
I can fix it and make it run again. You ain't got no motor.
And
yeah,
I guess you can't throw out any specifics, because then later you're probably going to have to do some of those.
You're going to have to come back and explain that, and you're putting yourself into a corner. They all love this. It's time for change. Nobody tells us what they're going to do.
What is it, Trey?
Oh, you remember Bush won at no new taxes. That came back to eat him alive when it came to running again in 92.
That was the read my lips.
Read my lips, no new taxes. Well, he ended up having to raise taxes, and it just crucified him.
Did he go for 2 terms?
Yeah. Lost to Clinton.
They didn't go for 2 terms.
He ran for a second term. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
No,
all right.
He just was in one. Obama is 22.
All right. Anybody hear Mark Davis last night on VAP?
No, I can only imagine. I should have felt the energy coming out of Arlington.
Why is he on at 8 o'clock at night?
Because he can't help it. It's a political race. He can't help himself. He loves this time of year. The man, you'd think it was free sex or something.
I got a box of jewelry says he didn't go home.
I bet you're right. I just got a cut right here. It'll be fine. I'll just sleep.
He just
20 minutes, maybe. It's just
I don't even know how to describe it.
It's just his passion. He's very, 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 very passionate about the politics. And when he gets to go to the conventions, you think it was Disney World.
Oh, the fact that Texas is going to be deciding factor. You're right. He's dribbling.
Yeah.
Was it 140 delegates?
Yes.
Okay. That's how many Texas has.
He's going to need Ambien to sleep.
And today, on this Tuesday in February, in states north and south, east and west, what began as a whisper in Springfield has swelled to a chorus of millions calling for change. It's a chorus that cannot be ignored, a chorus that cannot be deterred. This time can be different because this campaign for the presidency of the United States of America is different. But in this election, at this moment, you are standing up.
And I like him persona-wise.
I do too. I don't know anything about his politics at all, really.
I don't have a clue. But he's still telling me nothing as well.
None of it.
And you're right. I don't care what anybody says their campaign mantra is. They're all throwing out the same thing. It's time for a change. Okay. But that's going to happen when? How far into your administration? What's going to be the first thing that you do? How are you going to do that? Because if you're applying for a job, you're going to tell me what you're going to do, not just the guy that before me was an F-up. We already know that. We already know that we're not happy with things. How are these changes going to come about?
Does Hillary say, Trey, that she is definitely going to get us out of the war?
She said she'd do a phased withdrawal. Obama's the one who said he would immediately start pulling troops out.
See, that bothers me. And I like him. I like his style, but that bothers me.
You can't do just an immediate yank out.
No.
We've heard military people say over and over and over, you cannot do that.
No, he said within
that part of the
12 months he'd have everyone out.
And with Hillary, because Obama will attack her as far as voting for the war, she likes to go back and point at Bush. Well, had I known then what I know now,
had I had the truth,
we're all working with the same information, unless she thinks specifically the Bush administration made everything up about the WMDs, convinced everybody, but they all just kept it to themselves that there's nothing over there.
There's certainly a school of thought that thinks that because of the oil, blood for oil, that whole campaign.
But you're still plus that was an emotional time.
Oh, God, yes.
You throw out any inkling that somebody had something to do with the terrorist attacks on this country, we'd have flattened Sweden just for grins.
You had to do we've said this before. You had to do something. I don't know if the Iraq War was the thing to do, but you had to do something. We lost 2 buildings and 3,000 Americans. I came out with audio today of Willie Nelson, by the way. He still believes the 9/11 was an inside deal. Shut up and smoke your dope. It's got 23, I'm sorry. Seriously.
And you go back to that time, there was nobody really that was against some type of action somewhere.
Not at all.
No,
and to go back and play it out now in your head, you're away from that emotion, you're away from the time, you're away from the one time that I can remember my adult life, there was any type of solidarity with this country. You can't go back and analyze it now because we were operating under a different situation. And I know that's simplistic, and I know there's probably better ways to handle it, but that's where we were.
It's not really simplistic. It had an emotion to it that we don't have anymore. We've also spent how many years now here having the media tell us it was a mistake, he's a buffoon, get the hell out of there, look how many people have died. That's all we hear is the bad news. And you hear this from military people when they come back. You don't hear the good things that are going on. You don't hear it on Fox News or anybody else.
There are no good news channels.
I don't realize that, but I'm just saying this comes from military people that have been there, up to and including the few people I know, like Toby Keith's people that have been over there. There are citizens and there are children that love us and want us there. Not everybody hates us.
How are we doing, Chloe?
I need a break.
Don't want to listen to this, Willie?
It's pretty funny.
All right.
What cut?
Cut 23.
The way I heard it, 15 people from Saudi Arabia hit us in New York, and we go jump on Afghanistan. I never could figure that one out in Iraq. Well, I did figure it out, too, but I'm surprised more people hadn't figured it out.
I'd have figured it out quicker. But we was having to divvy up the pot on the bus when we got stopped.
We had the hydro going.
What an idiot.
I know, it gets worse.
They attacked us, and then we went and attacked Afghanistan. That's crazy.
People from Saudi Arabia hit us in New York, and we go jump on Afghanistan. I never could figure that one out in Iraq. Well, I did figure it out, too, but I'm surprised more people hadn't figured it out. And, I saw those towers fall, and I've seen an implosion in Las Vegas. There was too much similarities between the two. And I saw the building fall. It didn't get hit by nothing. So, how naive are we?
I smoked weed one time out of Ferlin Husky's penis.
What do they think we'll go for? The day it happened.
What did he do? He just went back and referenced the excessive dust that came out of the explosions of the collapse.
The fact that the building's imploded perfectly down. We've had this discussion before. And how building, is it 7 that fell later?
Yes.
It did get collateral damage from the falling buildings. No, an airplane did not fly into it.
Into the smallest one.
Into the smallest one.
So Willie's getting his stuff off the net.
Clearly, when he's not getting it from his dealer.
I saw those towers fall, and I've seen an implosion in Las Vegas. There was too much similarities between the two. And I saw the building fall. It didn't get hit by...
Normally, I don't argue this side just because it's not funny. Those buildings were designed to do exactly what they did.
Exactly, yes.
You've got the internal pressure. They're supposed to come straight down. Plus, a building's not really going to fall over sideways. No. It's going to collapse inside of itself just because of all the weight.
And once it starts, it's going to go all the way down to the ground. And all those little puffs
of smoke. Did they think it was just going to snap off at the base and fall?
Apparently they thought it was going to, there's no way it could fall straight down. That's what they do. That's what an implosion does, as he's talked about.
Well, they're going to go back and point out with an implosion, you've got strategically placed explosives, and that allows it to fall within itself. And this thing fell from the pressure. I don't know why anybody thought it was just going to lean over and land in the water.
I have no idea either. Little puffs of smoke. Those are windows blowing out from the pressure of the air coming down. There's no explosions. When do you think you're going to bring this 7 million tons of TNT into the World Trade Center and no one see?
Well, you could bring it in as cleaning crews. You could come in at night. You got these barrels. You got everything that you could sneak in there, hide it wherever you needed to, put it in the positions, and then be gone. Nobody's going to know anything.
Then why even fly the airplanes into the buildings?
Because that's part of the show.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Because if the building just implodes, then you know it's an inside job. If you have a couple of planes that have been hijacked and they fly into the buildings, then all of a sudden you have terrorists, and then we can go and invade Afghanistan. Which I don't get.
I do get.
How do you explain flying into your defense center?
Oh, the Pentagon?
Yeah.
We never saw a plane.
There were stills of a plane.
There was stills of something going towards the Pentagon, and they can still go back and argue that was a missile.
Okay. And
it was too low to the ground.
And the plane full of people that we know took off, we know were on radar. Where'd they go?
Police.
They got a nice little vacation out of it.
Break here.
Yes.
All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Enter at your own risk. The Russ Martin Show. To the Russ Martin Show.
What are you back on?
The people are starting to send in their 9/11 conspiracy crap, and this one I don't get at all. Tell me how this makes sense on either side of the argument.
Hold on, let me ask this first. Trey, as far as the theorists go, the reason that we would have concocted this as an inside job would be excuse to go to war. But after we got there, we didn't have a good excuse.
Very true. And our first target was Afghanistan, not Iraq.
I'm sorry, where?
Afghanistan.
Okay. Not what Willie said.
No.
Oh, good.
And truth be matter, it was a mistake pulling out of there too early to go to Iraq. There is no, I mean, look what it did to the economy. Look at all the things. And it really...
And oil prices went up. I mean, if part of the reason was there's oil. We're going to go over there. We're going to take control of the region.
Well, I can argue this side. They're going to go, that's right, oil prices go up. Didn't Mobil Exxon make more than they've ever made before? Isn't Cheney connected to that group of people that make oil?
No.
Is he not?
No, he's not connected to ExxonMobil.
The construction people that are over in
Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton.
Here's the problem, and this is where people don't understand, is there's only two companies in the world that can do what Halliburton does. One, Halliburton is American-based. They have the resources. They could go in there, fix pipelines, do all the infrastructure needed without making it immediately. And that's just the...
And if there are only two companies, they weren't really going to have a leg up anyway. If we went over there and did this as an inside job.
Right.
All right. Is that Gail? Hold on. And then you can read whatever you got. Yes, Gail.
Hi. Don Davis Auto Group brings you this traffic. Eastbound LBJ at Luna, the right lane still blocked with a backup to at least 161. In Dallas on westbound LBJ at Marsh, a stalled vehicle on the shoulder, but it was already backed up to Central. In Fort Worth, southbound 820 at Ramey, the right lane's blocked. Backed up to Lancaster Avenue. 360 southbound before I-30, that stalled vehicle on the left shoulder. But there's a backup all the way to 183, and on westbound 183 ramp to 360 southbound, there's a wreck on the shoulder. That's backed up to 161. Northbound 35 at Rosedale, the left lane blocked on that south freeway. In Dallas, there's a car on fire on the service road of eastbound LBJ at Forest, and Inwood at Lemon, there's a crash. Singleton at Walton Walker, a big old gas leak reported. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
Thanks, Gail. Freezing again tonight, about 32 for the overnight low, a little colder out to the west. It's going to be 60 for the high, then almost 70 by Friday. It's 53 now at Live 105.3.
All right, what's the email say?
Pull it up here again here. All right. Tell me where I don't get this at all. One simple concept. The buildings both fell at a rate faster than the rate of acceleration of gravity. First of all, I never saw that report, but whatever. We'll assume that happened. Simply put, the building would have hit the ground before a brick dropped at the same moment it started falling. Simple physics proves that this is impossible. So which side's he arguing? That we defied gravity on? The buildings fell faster?
I think what he's saying, yeah, the buildings fell faster than had you just taken a brick at the same height and dropped it.
That's impossible. Because meanwhile you're compressing furniture and people and stuff and things are flying out. That's totally impossible. That the buildings fell faster than a brick would have.
Exactly.
Don't give me exactly. Exactly what? Mr. Physics, what does that mean?
They suck the buildings into the ground.
Okay. My bad. So there's a
apologize.
Vacuum cleaners in.
I don't get which side they're going to be arguing. If the buildings fell faster, and I think I'd read this someplace before when they threw that with the rest of the conspiracy items, that the buildings fell too fast.
Well, that's impossible. We didn't defy gravity.
Well, yeah, even if it was an inside job, we're not going to go back and control the rate, the speed of the collapse. Unless they suck them into the ground.
They didn't suck them into the ground. I just love the people that say the one that crashed out in Pennsylvania. Yeah, wasn't really an airplane. Well, first of all, there's the outline of two wings. Yeah, but there weren't any parts. It went in vertically at 500 miles an hour. That's what airplanes do at that speed. They disintegrate. And they did find the black box, and they did find a few little pieces.
Well, you can drop a black box.
And Wile E. Coyote, how do we get the outline of the two wings out in the dirt?
They had Warner Brothers come out. You're not good at this. It doesn't make any difference because, well, here's the other thing. We've never seen a disaster of this magnitude before, so you really don't have anything to compare it to, short of, I think it was the Value Jet, Fun Jet, whatever went down in Florida. Plane hit the water, vaporized.
Straight down and went away. Yeah.
So we've never seen one hit a skyscraper or the Pentagon, or just go flying straight down into the ground.
Especially at that speed. I love the ones when they show, here's a picture of a real plane crash. There's still a tail. There's still engines. It's burned, but there's still... They
tried to land.
Yeah, they were doing 150, 160 knots, not 550.
Well, these guys took the plane and just pushed it straight into the ground.
Right.
The passengers that said this isn't going to happen. The other plane crashes... They made an attempt to land. That's why they're still part of the fuselage.
I understand that, but that's one of the little...
Now, what about the buildings falling too fast?
That's impossible.
Doesn't mass have something to do with the rate of, I guess, terminal velocity?
Who are you asking?
Fair enough.
That's good.
Ask it again.
Doesn't mass have something to do with the terminal velocity?
I'm going to say yes.
The fact that he'd open his mouth and bring that up in this room. Anything else you want to ask us about?
Physics.
Time travel.
Flux capacitor?
That doesn't make any difference. I can explain that one. Is that Big Stacy? Yeah. Yes, boss.
Hey, boss man.
Yeah. How's your diet going?
It's going all right. I heard y'all talking about me yesterday. You could tell me so I could at least try to defend myself.
Defend yourself on what?
On some of the stuff that y'all were saying. You were jumping to conclusions too quick.
Like what?
Like the fact that I eat at Taco Bell every day. No, I don't.
I didn't say that. Larry North did.
Oh.
Well, what do you have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
All right. What do you have for lunch?
Just depends on what I'm doing.
Well, what... All right, one day for lunch you had. Everybody on the bus.
No, just half.
All right. So one day for lunch you had.
One day for lunch I had Chinese takeout.
All right. How much?
Just a plate, like beef broccoli, and shrimp fried rice.
All right, let me ask. Have you gained weight in the year or so that we've known you?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
I want to say 25, 30 pounds.
All right. Well, obviously, it's still in your diet. When you go home, if you don't have anything all day, you go home and you eat what?
Whatever. Get my hands on because I'm usually starving by then.
All right. And how much will you take in?
Usually, if I'm hungry, just about a plate of food. That's about it. It's mostly diet and exercise. Mostly exercise, though.
How tall is a plate?
Plate is not big. It's a regular plate.
A round plate, yeah.
Yeah.
How high does it go?
I don't stack it that high. But I got an idea, though.
Little flashing red lights on it? What, so has Larry told you what the diet's going to consist of? You know you're going to have to eat breakfast. You're going to have to eat something between lunch.
Yeah, he said that the way it'll work out is he'll have me eating all day, but in proportion. So it'll work out. But I have to go and see the nutritionist on Friday.
Okay.
But like I said, I got another idea, though.
What?
What if every time I think I'm hungry, I get hungry, I come up there and sit with you guys?
So you can't get any food?
Yeah.
If that helps.
Why don't we just chain him to something?
Nigga, what you say?
Oh, my God. I mean, for his own good.
I believe that's the excuse they used back then.
No, I'm talking about for his own good. That way he wouldn't be able to get to food.
What's up with the chains, JD?
I mean, put you near somewhere where you're confined, where you can't get to food.
You just said you wanted to chain him up.
I'm talking about get him away from the refrigerator and the box so he's confined, chained up. You're talking about having to drive all the way up here and sit with us.
I know where you work.
This is for your own good. We're trying to save your life.
Hey, Why don't you get a noose too, JD?
No, I never said that. Don't.
Change to the noose.
Don't say that. I didn't say that. I'm talking about for your own good.
All right. You better come up with a reason why for his own good.
I'm keeping him away from the food. He's talking about coming up here to stay away from the food. So,
well, then use a term like restrain him. Put him in an area where he can't get out.
I was just thinking something simple.
Talk about what you know.
What am I, your dog?
No, not at all. Restraining him is the same thing. Chaining him up, restraining him, getting him away from the food.
Stacy, if you come up here and we restrain you so you can't get at food, I want notes to Al Sharpton, the NAACP, and anybody else in case they show up. He told us to do this.
Yes.
I'm calling Al Sharpton on JD.
I didn't say anything.
I'll give you the audio.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. If it's a weak moment, you want to stop by, come on up.
All right.
Love you, Stacy. I do. Love him. He's a great guy.
It's for his own good.
It is. That's what you know what I'm thinking.
Dan, you look quite solemn.
I'd like to transfer.
You don't want to sit in my side of the room anymore.
I don't want to be in your side of the state.
Bring me a form, too, will you?
Yeah. We'll just take those right into Gavin.
Everybody backed up like 8 feet from the mics when you said that. Chuck's in the back of the room, who hadn't really heard it yet. Isn't that right?
I heard it. I was shocked.
Oh.
You all know what I meant.
Yeah, we do.
No. I love Stacy. I want to see him get healthy.
And so you wanted to do...
Well, I'm not saying it again if you guys think it's that horrible. In my head, it didn't sound that horrible.
Never does.
It didn't.
You coming out with your own diet book?
No. We're talking about keeping him away from food. Instead of having to drive up here and sit on our couch.
So you're going to use some type of restraint?
Well, certainly, with his permission. I'm going to just drive over there and do it.
There's got to be a diet joke in here someplace.
Oh, there's plenty of them. I just don't want to say any of them.
Clankins?
Don't. Am I in trouble for that?
For what?
What I said? Because that didn't seem that, concerning the topic, it didn't seem like that was, like, out there.
Well, you threw it out. Let's see what comes back.
Great.
You going to put out your own diet book?
No, I could, I guess. I haven't done that well with myself. What would it be called?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Let's get off this and do something else.
Nobody can think right now.
Everybody knew what I was saying. God.
Yeah, if he wants to come up and we can move all the food out of here. And if it helps him, something kind and compassionate, we can restrain him so he doesn't get up and go eat something.
That's
and after a while, the moment will pass.
That's true. You just stay away.
But there'll be no pictures.
No. And he'll have to sign a release form.
Dan? Mm-hmm. Why don't you talk for a while?
Sure thing.
525. Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. A Fort Worth salvage yard employee has been arrested on an accusation he injured 2 teens while trying to hit 2 suspects who he thought had stolen radiators from the business. LZ Lee Marshall of North Richland Hills was arrested Monday and charged with 2 counts of injury to a child. On Monday, police responded to a report of a theft at the Aztec Salvage in the 2300 block of South Riverside. Police said they obtained descriptions of the 2 men who stole radiators from the yard but were unable to locate them. At about 2 o'clock later that day, a salvage yard employee saw the 2 suspects standing outside the yard near a fence. The 2 suspects were talking with 4 juveniles when shots were fired. A 13-year-old and a 14-year-old were struck with birdshot. Both were transported to Cook's Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and expected to fully recover. It appears the juveniles were not involved in any criminal activity. The men suspected of stealing from the salvage yard have not yet been arrested.
Why did the guy shoot the kids?
I think he was aiming at the 2 suspects, but he shot towards the 2 suspects and ended up hitting a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old instead, I think.
With a shotgun?
Yeah. Yeah, with birdshot. Yeah. Unless maybe...
Yeah, he's going to have to eat that one.
Unless maybe
because you can't stand in a crowd have something that you plan on shooting and fire off a shotgun because you can't control where all the buckshot's going to go.
It was one of those things. I can't wait to see what he says as far as his explanation of what it was he was trying to do. You know, it's like, well, I was aiming at the two suspects.
Trying to scare them?
Well, that would do it. Yeah. You just shoot them.
Well, then you shoot in another direction. Yeah. I'm missing part of this. The two guys that were really trying to break in were there.
Yes.
And the kid, why were the kids there?
Kids were skipping school and just hanging out talking to these two guys. So maybe the guy assumed that all four of them or all six of them were in on the steal.
Okay, well then he's not. The intent wasn't to really hurt those kids. He thought the entire group was trying to steal
from him, right?
I mean that they were coming back in for more.
Yeah, that's what he thought.
But you still, I mean, I hate to use the cliche, but you can't shoot first and ask questions later. You got to have some responsibility.
Well, if this place had been burglarized over and over, he already saw the guys go in. They come back out. I don't know what the actual timeline was. And you got two other people there. You're going to assume they're all together.
Well, you need to make
You can't.
sure.
You can't. What are you going to do? Also, if they're breaking in, you don't know if they're armed or not.
Call the police.
And 3 or 4 minutes later, when they get there and everybody's gone, then what?
Well, find a line of sight where you can tell who's who. I mean,
well, you don't. Who's who? You don't know who's part of it and who's not. He assumed they were all together. If those kids were talking to these guys, you assume
that's a gang.
Yeah, they're all there for a reason. I wouldn't have done it. I'd have picked them off one at a time, or at least shot one of the bigger ones. But no, with a shotgun blast, I can't help him with that. His intent, you can still go back and defend that. There was a reasonable process that you would have thought all those people were together.
Yeah, they wouldn't be.
You got two breaking in. You got a couple other guys with them. I'm going to assume they're all there doing the same thing.
I would think just size-wise, you're going to know there's
13-year-old kids steal as well.
But
you're protecting your property.
But you need to make sure
your property.
And this is the same.
And you're going to make sure how?
We'll go over and ask them nicely.
Everybody freeze.
Can we discuss this?
Who's here to rob me? Hands. How are you going to do that?
Try to identify them.
Well, was this at night, during the day?
Daytime. And they were standing outside of the yard.
But he'd already identified the two that were stealing from him.
In which case, you call the cops and let them come get them.
Yeah, if they're already outside the yard, then your legal stance is going to change.
No, I guess that's why they arrested him, but still.
Well, if he could identify two that had robbed them, and then now there's four, then you have to have some due diligence before you go off shooting your gun.
You're also talking about a situation where he's got to decide right then and there. How many times has the place been burglarized? You already saw somebody go in. You see two more. You don't know if they were in there. They had already been inside. You don't know. Once they're outside, I don't think I'm going to shoot them. If it's at night, everybody goes.
Everybody gets it.
All whammies.
The rules do change at night, right? If someone's stealing your property, you shoot.
Yeah,
I think that's.
But again, that's going to go back. I'm going to have to decide for myself. If it's my home, yeah, they're going to eat it. If it's a junkyard, what was this?
It's a salvage yard.
Yeah, salvage yard. I don't think I'm ready to mow somebody down.
He's been repeatedly robbed. That's the only reason. I'm not on his side. I'm thinking shooting people is not a good thing. But you can see how he'd make that decision. I already know those two guys have robbed from me. They're back. Why are they back?
And if you found somebody in the middle of your house at night, you wouldn't shoot them right off.
Probably not. Again, I'd make that decision. I would never know until that happened. But I would.
The cause for pause is what? You're waiting on.
I'm waiting on giving them a chance to get out or get away.
They had their chance before they came in.
I'd have a hard time just blowing somebody away with their back turned to me. What do they turn around? They put their hands up and go, okay, sorry, got me.
And if they turn around, they have a weapon.
Well, then you make that split-second decision.
Okay. You've already paused. You've already given them more time to think about, all right, they know that you're behind them. Now you've given them time to plan a course of action.
Not to 1 second that says they freeze.
They broke into that house. They already knew what to plan on before they broke in.
I seriously don't know, but I don't think I could do it. Just shoot somebody in the back. I really, truly don't. Put myself in that position. You
give them the heads up, and they take off running in another direction, and Joy happens to be in that part of that house.
That would be, again, another decision if Joy was in the house, or if they could potentially get to her. That would be another decision, or one of my kids.
Also, here's another problem. People that normally break into houses and there's a good chance that somebody's home, they really don't care what happens to them, the homeowner. So why are you going to give him any type of courtesy?
I guess I'm only going with...
And Dan, you're with JD on this, right?
Yeah.
What I can put in my head, I'm seeing somebody in my kitchen. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. How they got in past the locks, I'll never know, of the alarm. But that moment, they're back to me. They're rifling through a drawer. I'm just not going to shoot a human being in the back without at least saying, freeze, I've got a gun. And that's about 3/4 of a second. If they turn toward me, boom. If they hand straight up, don't even turn around, different story. If they reach into their pockets.
No, you don't get any... You get no common courtesies once you've broken into the house. Everything that you had as far as rights as a human being is outside my house. You break in the middle of the night, all whammies.
I guess.
Trey? I'm with you because you also don't know who else is in the house. So I'm going to take you out in case there is a second or third person that's going to be coming at me. That way I'm ready for it.
There are too many different variables.
I just can't see it. I just can't see somebody's going through the drawer, they're bent over, and I just put a 9mm through their back.
Oh, that gives me a hard on.
You say that for the radio, you don't really mean that.
Yes, I do. Somebody's in the house in the middle of the night, they're dead. As quickly as I can make them that.
Okay. I'd like to be a rough and tumble guy and say I do it, but I don't think I would.
A couple of things would make me stop and think, if it's a kid, if it's a teenager, maybe not. Although they can be just as dangerous, I'm going to have a harder time killing a kid. Something that looks like it's almost full grown is dead.
I couldn't do it. I may do it, and in the moment of panic, just kill them and several neighbors. Just spin around and start shooting everybody, but I don't think I would.
Do we need a break? Okay. We'll be back.
Pussy. Pussy. Call a human being.
Be back to the Russ Martin Show.
Pussy.
You're a big one.
I'll shoot you.
Okay.
We gonna do what they say can't be done. We got a long way to go, and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound just like a bandit run. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Is that Gail? Hello, Gail.
Hi.
How you got?
I got Carter Eye Center on eastbound 175 at St. Augustine. Roadwork in the right lane, backed up to Jim Miller. Farmers Branch on the tollway northbound at Spring Valley. You got the left lane blocked and a back up to Forest Lane. In Fort Worth on southbound 287 at Vickery, the left lane's blocked. It's heavy from I-30, and also southbound 820 past Ramey. There's a wreck on the shoulder with a backup to I-30. Westbound 183 ramp to southbound 360, still sporting a crash with a backup to 161. Legacy at Marchman, there's a wreck, and you still got a gas leak around, that's going to be, let's see here, where'd they put the gas leak? Singleton at Walton Walker. And then on Beckley at Sainer, a wreck, and then, never mind that one, it's no big deal. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
Thanks, Gail. All right, 32 for the low tonight, then warming up slightly throughout the week. 60 for the high tomorrow. We're at 53 now and live 105.3.
All right, somebody sent me a link explaining the fall of the World Trade Center, the two towers, and why it was impossible.
Which part was impossible?
I don't understand that.
Okay.
I've gone through probably 11 pages. I went down to conclusions. I still don't understand it. In order for the tower to have collapsed gravitationally,
yes,
as we've been told over and over again, in the observed duration, one or more of the following zany-sounding conditions must have been met. The undamaged stories below the impact zone offered zero resistance to the collapse.
Okay, we know that didn't happen.
The glass and concrete spontaneously disintegrated without any expenditure of energy. On 9/11, gravity was much stronger. On 9/11, energy was not conserved.
Okay.
However, none of these physics violating conditions can be accounted for by the government conspiracy theory of 9/11. They're just saying the building collapsed too fast.
That's what this guy wrote me back. Of course, I look at his website, his email address now. It makes sense. John@dumb.org.
What did he say this time?
This means that it's impossible for a building to have fallen at a rate faster than gravity without outside help. It's also impossible.
Even with outside help, it's still going to fall at the rate that gravity allows.
Had we blown it up or had they fallen from the power of the building, the airplanes, it's going to fall at the same rate. Gravity is gravity. The weight is the weight.
Well, the way they go back and explain, I think they said the tower, when it finally started to collapse, it took less than 10 seconds to get to the ground. Is that right, Dan?
I think so, yeah.
All right, but whatever, that's close. They said had you taken a brick from the roof, dropped it off with no resistance, just dropping it straight down, it would have taken longer.
That makes absolutely no sense. So they're just cooking the numbers then, because that's impossible. You're crushing you're crushing windows and desks and staircases.
You have resistance all the way down.
There's an air pressure.
Well, you also have the building went down into the ground 10 stories, so it's gone down faster than people are giving it credit for, just because it's not going down to the ground, it's going down 100 feet lower.
And?
That means it's going to look like it came down faster, but in fact, it came down probably at the same rate. It just went lower than the brick would have gone.
Do you understand that?
No, it all fell at the same rate. I mean, these people.
I'm saying it fell at the same rate, but part of the building went underground.
Why?
Because they all sat on big, huge subways and basements, and there was like 10 floors below ground level.
Okay, and?
Would have changed the rate of fall.
It wouldn't have changed the rate of fall, but...
Well, what's a hole got to do with it?
That it's going down, part of the building went down in a hole instead of it all collapsed on the ground.
Anybody else?
We need to let this one go. No.
Let me ask this way. Are you saying that those pillars on the bottom collapsed instantaneously, so part of the building dropped 100 or 200 feet right off just from the snapping? That makes sense, John?
Yes. But
so it's not collapsing, it just fell down in the hole, and then the rest of the building came with it.
No, I'm just saying when it...
Okay, then shut up.
Okay, because that's not what happened on the video. The 33rd floor didn't suddenly drop on the video. We've seen the video. It came down one floor at a time and crushed itself. The windows blew out from the air pressure. It fell because the airplanes flew into the building. Period. End of it.
Why are they saying the building fell too fast?
That's impossible, because they made it up. They pulled it out of their butt.
But what about the brick?
A brick would fall at the same rate as the building did. Possibly faster.
The building would fall faster. The brick, that's the argument. The brick would fall faster because it's not going to have any resistance short of wind. This building fell too fast, and it had resistance floor after floor, even though as it's collapsing, it's picking up speed because that's the way the gravity works.
Right.
They still said it fell too fast.
And who timed this?
I went to community college. I don't know.
Okay.
I
bet you can't.
I think I can.
All right.
Here we go.
They're saying the brick fell like a 110-story building. The building actually fell like a 100-story building because it had 10 floors below that it went.
Don't bow like you just said something.
That's not it either. Sorry.
Well, hang on. What does that mean?
Sure, I'll give it. You're smarter than I am, but this gravity thing, we can't.
It's not gravity. It's just appearances.
No.
I just like the way he leaned back and then he threw out whatever he said and he went, Thank you. What does a hole in the ground have to do with it?
They're acting like everything stopped on ground level. It did not. It had farther to go down.
Uh-huh. And?
So it made it appear... never mind.
So you're saying if the brick went
we
down
got a better chance of figuring out the whole pizza thing with Papa John's. Then we do this.
There's scientists and engineers driving around downtown just beating their heads against the dashboard.
Shut up. building would fall on it. Were you going to clarify something, Dan, or were you going to make it harder?
I'm not sure which.
You can't.
Just let me take one little stab just to try to, if I can figure out what Trey's trying to say.
Well, bring me the bottle. Go ahead.
Trey, what you're saying is if the brick had the extra 100 feet to go into the ground the same way the building did, then they would have had the same rate, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But since the brick doesn't have that extra 100 feet, that's where everyone's getting confused.
I don't think they're talking about taking a brick taller than the building. They're talking about taking a brick where the top of the building starts and dropping it. Mm-hmm. And from everything that we saw, when the building gets to ground level, they said that was too fast.
That's impossible.
Regardless if there's a hole or not.
Your clock's off. It's impossible.
And I'm saying, brick from the top of the building, if it fell into 100 feet lower than ground level,
they ain't counting anything after ground level.
Nothing changed.
But you have to.
Nothing changed.
Why do you have to count the hole?
Because
it's not like the hole just evaporated and the building fell suddenly.
No, but it pancaked down.
Ryan, do you know? All right.
We've gone to the expert and we're out of it.
Well, you can tell I'm done. You ready, Dan?
I am.
Go ahead.
According to the CIA World Fact Book, 60% of the population of Nigeria is below the poverty line. For several years now, naive Americans have been tricked into giving Nigerians their bank account numbers under the promise that the Americans will be rewarded, or the American that's helping them will be rewarded for helping the Nigerian import a large inheritance into the States. Now that everyone is onto that, they've come up with a new scam that preys mainly on old, lonely people, usually women. Here's how it works. The scammer targets an older woman who's on an internet dating site. He pretends to be a nice older man who lives nearby, but not close enough for them to meet right away. Then he'll spend weeks, even months, corresponding with her and building up trust. He'll send phony pictures and basically dupe the poor woman into believing they're falling in love with each other over the internet. Then the scammer says he has to go to Nigeria to sell some land, which will help set them up for their new life together. Then once he gets to Nigeria, he gets mugged, or maybe he gets in a bad car wreck, or arrested on phony charges. Whatever the case, he needs money, and he needs it fast. The old lady sends him the money through some bank in Nigeria, and that's the last she ever hears from him. It's not clear how many times this scam has worked in America, but in Australia, authorities say thousands of people have been ripped off this way, to the tune of, on average, $31,000 each.
All right, one of the towers was 1,360 feet tall.
I'm going to kill myself.
You use the free fall equation. Distance equals 1/2 times gravity times time squared.
Oh.
It would take 9.2 seconds for something to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Free falling.
All right, free falling.
With just air, wind resistance.
Dropping it off.
Said the building fell in 10 seconds.
Okay, then the building took longer to fall, which it would, because it's
just at 0.8 of a second, and you've got an assload of resistance.
How do you really know how long it took? Whose stopwatch are you watching?
Because you can go back.
It disappeared into a cloud of dust. You never know when it actually hit the ground. Zero. It's completely gone in a cloud of dust. We never saw it hit the ground and stop. It's completely obscured by then.
So are you saying it stopped midways?
No, I'm just saying, whose clock are you using? Who says 9.2? If the brick is 9.2 and the building was 10.
I would think they probably thought as soon as it got to the dust at the bottom of the ground, it had finished.
By then, I know. But there was a big plume of dust. You really couldn't see anything.
That was from the end of the collapse.
It plumed the whole way down.
But you could still see the building.
Not after about halfway down. It was nothing but dust and dirt.
You could tell when it finished.
We didn't see the last 30 floors go down. We really didn't. If you go back and look at the video, you really can't see the last 30 floors disappear. Because by then they're
completely...
It probably took 12 to 15 seconds to completely fall and stop.
All right, I'll watch one of the videos.
Please.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. With the economy in a funk, there are few jobs available in the Romanian town of Dragosani. As a result, people have been selling items on eBay in order to make ends meet. There's a problem, though. They don't actually have anything to sell. But the people of Dragosani aren't letting that stop them. They just spend their days defrauding eBay customers. The most common scam is the so-called second chance auction. That's where a Romanian person contacts an eBay user who just missed out on an item in a legitimate auction. He then offers to sell a similar item to the user outside the eBay system. And if you fall for this, you'll be routed to a site where you enter your payment information, and then you can just kiss that money goodbye. The Romanians have sold all kinds of things this way, including a MiG fighter jet that someone thought he was buying for $2,000. According to Dragosani's mayor, the majority of the victims of the eBay scams are Americans because, of course, they're naive.
Who falls for that stuff anymore?
You had corporations, large corporations, or people in large corporations falling for the Nigerian scam years ago. I think Brett Shipp was talking about that.
Obviously, it works. It's still working because I got one, I think, yesterday. When I need your help. Well, I opened that up because it could be a listener, somebody's house burned the other day. Right. They want me to help them out. So I open that up, and then it goes off, and I've come to this large amount of money. You want to write back, but you don't want them to know it's a real email account. But you want to write back and go, who the hell do you think you're kidding? Who's buying this anymore?
All you got to do is send out 20, 30,000 of those. All it takes is one buffoon.
Yeah.
And if you're doing mass emails, it doesn't cost you anything.
Especially the old people that don't get a lot of emails. And maybe, again, don't read these stories.
And if you step outside of the protection of eBay, you're going to get jacked anyway.
People that use eBay, I would think, would be more suspicious than, say, your grandma who never gets any emails and gets the Nigerian one or something like that.
How many people fell for this, Dan?
Thousands.
All right. There was a story on Channel 8 today. Some local auction house. Did anybody else see this? They were auctioning off movie props. They didn't check to see where it came from. Some of the stuff, allegedly, guy was buying off eBay, sent it to him with authenticity. Went, I need $4,000 for this.
Johnny Carson's mic. It's a John Wayne's hat.
And the company that was doing was in control of the auction. Well, we got this. Which was a letter that said, no, this stuff's real. And here's where I got it. And some guy that had bought a flask, I think, who was it owned by? Some 40s or 50s.
Errol Flynn or somebody.
Right, yeah, it was Errol Flynn's flask. Said it came from this collection. He decides to start checking around, contacted those people. They said, we never had that. And then Channel 8 started looking at it, and they found other things.
A ton.
And all of a sudden, they found an expert, starts comparing some items that were auctioned off with things that had recently been auctioned off on eBay with no authenticity. So that's why I stopped buying memorabilia. Because I actually thought about the Johnny Carson mic.
I remember seeing a story about that.
And I think that only went for a couple of grand.
It did.
And they found the mic on eBay, and they found the mic that was sold, flipped it over, both had the same serial number.
Is that the same place they were going to do auction off something of Anna Nicole Smith's?
I don't know. But if they're not going to check, then
how would you ever know?
Yeah, you might as well just get it off eBay if you're going to get effed.
Just tell everybody it is. No one's going to know.
Go ahead, Dan.
In South Korea, young men are required to spend as long as 2 years in the military. But at least 92 current and former pro soccer players in South Korea managed to avoid their military duty by purposely dislocating their shoulders.
Jesus.
They would do this by swinging their arms while holding heavy weights or by having fellow players jump on their shoulders. All 92 have been indicted for dodging their military service. They face 2 years of community service, the 2-year military stint they tried to avoid in the first place, or possibly jail.
That's really not a bad way to get out of it.
Oh, I just, anytime you say dislocated shoulder, I can go to the pain. I can't imagine doing this myself on purpose.
I'd cut off my ass cheeks to stay out of the service.
Would you really? I mean, if they really came up to it, you would, I mean, I don't mean cut off your ass cheeks.
If they, yes.
No. Yeah, I think that's
they came to me and they said, you're going to go, let's take this war out of the equation. Vietnam?
Yeah.
No.
Would you have gone to Canada?
No. I'd be here standing up.
Your ass.
If it would keep me from having to go, especially because all the heinous stories that came back from Vietnam. No, I'm too big of a pussy.
But it is.
I cut things off until they finally told me, okay.
It's your military. It's your government. It's your country. Nobody wants to go to war. Nobody goes rah-rah, except for a few nuts. But I mean, nobody.
Some people do want to go serve their country, and they're not necessarily nuts. I'm a pussy, and I'm not the person that you want standing next to you in a battle. You want me here without my cheeks.
Cut your cheeks off.
I would start cutting toes off. If it was, especially Vietnam.
How could you do that? How could you? I mean, okay, I know you're kind of being silly with the ass cheeks.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
You would cut off a toe.
I'd ask them, what is it that I could not have and not be able to go?
And you'd physically take a knife and cut your toe off.
Hmm?
Okay. I mean, there are people that came back from Vietnam in one piece.
A lot of them didn't. And a lot of them just didn't go over there and come back and were happy about the entire event, and they were glad that it was something that they could share with everybody.
I traveled the world. No, you're right. It's a terrible thing, but I don't think I'd run out of the country or cut something off.
I wouldn't run out of the country. That's a turncoat.
How is that any different than cutting your cheeks off?
There's some type of suffering.
I mean, you're not suffering for your country, so you're going to stay here and milk this country.
It's better for everybody over there that I don't go.
That in your mind, how you're going to rectify it.
Exactly.
I think if you had a gun and you were really being fired on, you'd fire back.
Possibly.
Okay, no, not possibly. You would. You would fight just like everybody else. Nobody's happy about being there.
Mm-mm.
I can. Oh.
Cheekless is going to freak out.
Yeah, you wouldn't get very much past the medical.
Go ahead. Roxanne Johnson Sterling's husband admitted to cheating on her.
All right, bend over and cough. All right, what the... How was this one easy to get into?
Cheeks.
What happened to your ass?
Sliced it up.
She's greater. Industrial.
No. Oh, man.
Card game.
Roxanne Johnson Sterling's husband admitted to cheating on her, and he's been charged with trying to hire a man to kill her and her unborn child. But she's still standing by him. When Mrs. Johnson...
Yeah, she wouldn't... she testified, and she was actually was rehearsing with the defense attorneys.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't get it at all. She's not some whack job. She's educated, has a job.
She said her husband is trustworthy.
He admitted to cheating on her, and that she was pregnant and having him. And the guy in her house said, "Your husband paid me to come kill you, but I can't do it."
Go ahead and finish it, Dan.
When Mrs. Johnson Sterling testified Tuesday in Albert Jackson Sterling II's solicitation for a capital murder trial, she declared her love for her husband and expressed doubt that Allen police fully investigated the case. Despite his affair, she said...
What else is to look into? You got a guy breaks into your house, is there to kill you, and decides he's going to back out.
Well, despite his affair, she said she considers him an honest and trustworthy man and a good provider. In court Tuesday, Collin County Assistant DA Barnett Walker played audio recordings made from phone conversations while Mr. Sterling was in the county jail. In many of the recorded conversations, Mrs. Johnson Sterling was trying to learn more details about his affair with Natalia Signatura. One of his motives, prosecutors said, Sterling had for trying to have his wife killed in November of 2006.
So even if you take the attempted murder out of the equation, she's still over the fact that he was having an affair.
Yeah.
So let's forgive him.
Mr. Sterling said, "I went out with her all the time. I'm just being honest, babe." He'd previously told his wife that he had slept with Miss Signatura only once. After hearing that replayed in court, Mrs. Johnson Sterling refused to call the relationship a serious one. "I considered it more of an escape from the real world," she testified.
Is that all of it?
Yeah, as far as that stuff, yeah. Oh. And then he goes on to she's saying, "I believe him, I trust him, and I don't think that the police did a thorough job." She's standing by him. She doesn't think he's guilty.
Same thing with the chick that was chained to that car engine for months. Still loved the guy.
Still loved him, yeah.
Didn't really complain about it. The Detroit mayor cheated with his chief of staff, and she appears on television sitting next to him.
That's a knee-jerk reaction. That had just happened, I think, over time.
They had her on camera for his image and nobody else. And if you were really concerned about your wife, why make her look like an absolute buffoon to sit there with you and hold your hand and explain, we're going to work past this on our own? The only reason she's there is to try and mitigate your damages. She's already suffered, and now you're going to make her look like an idiot on television.
Have to sit there and I agree with you that she shouldn't have been on camera with him. It's bad enough it's going to happen and people are going to know who she is. We did get an email about that, so if you care. You shouldn't be making fun of the wife of the mayor of Detroit. You don't know what her motivation is to stay with him. She might really... She might really love him.
Doesn't make any difference.
And want to work things out. Not everyone is cold-hearted as you.
Hold on. What are you mumbling about?
We have dancers here from Jaguars to come see you and test how you feel about different races.
You go get them.
Sure.
Now.
Okay. Some people truly love their spouses.
I don't know what you're talking to me about.
The Detroit lady. Some people do wacky crap over love. Look at Trey. Let that chick back in the house.
Oh, he talks in periods.
Why are they here?
Apparently to test your love and honesty, as well as something about the races.
All right, you're an idiot as well.
I don't know. I don't know why they're here.
This is part of my racial test.
Oh.
Hi, Katana.
Well, that's an easy pass.
Why?
You've already been there.
We're friends.
I know you are. Intimate.
Nobody's ever admitted to that?
No one's ever admitted to it. I think a lot of things go on after the show that behind closed doors in here.
Oh. Well, I think we can take What? Yeah. She's still married.
Hey.
You gonna go back and revisit your past?
No.
All right. Why do you keep bringing up ours?
You have one.
Okay. So we can take this question off the lie detector test as far as being racist.
Okay.
Provided what?
I think the whole thing was, would I kiss a black woman or Hispanic or Asian?
That doesn't necessarily make you not a racist.
Why wouldn't it?
Unless you're a guy, makes you horny.
Well, if I was a racist, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with outside my race, and that's absurd.
No, that would actually make you a supremacist.
Why?
Because a supremacist would have nothing to do with someone outside of their own race. A racist can still interact with someone of another race and still think poorly of them.
I don't think I could actually interact with somebody if I thought poorly of them, or all of you guys would be at the TEC.
It's TWC nowadays.
Well, it's been a while since I've been there.
I understand.
We'll be happy to give you an update.
Have you been up here before?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you. Hang on. Who we got in the back? Who's behind you, sweetie? Are you white?
No.
I can't kiss you if you're white.
So you are racist.
Well, the challenge is gone.
I understand.
You Hispanic?
Yes.
Very attractive. You don't have a problem kissing an old man? See? I don't got no cash.
Ooh.
All right. Whoever wants to be first, come on around. We'll get this over with so I can prove this.
Doesn't prove anything.
Why am I doing it?
I guess because you want to cheat on Amy. And we'll try to make some kind of rule.
Hang on a second. Who just bitched about having to go first?
I guess I gotta go first. Hope I'm not near a microphone.
Let me go kiss the honky. Can't imagine what he smells like.
I've heard.
And she doesn't look happy to be here at all.
I'm very happy to be here.
What's your name?
Malibu.
You don't want to be here, do you?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
How old are you?
21.
How old are you?
22.
You?
21.
Yeah.
That's very nice. That's all you do. You want to make out with hot women and make it okay for your fiance.
You're very astute.
I know. I'm good. I'll tell him that at the TWC.
Hang on, I have to get the first one out.
I understand. She's the one that was real happy to come over.
Were you the one bitching?
No, I wasn't bitching.
We're going to roll the audio back.
She didn't say she didn't say it. She just said she wasn't bitching about it.
Well, I'm not kissing you. You can be ugly about it.
I'm not being. Just don't smear my lipstick.
All right, well, come here.
Smear her lipstick.
Don't fucking your lips like that.
Well, you got to know I'm ready.
Well, act like you like it.
Oh.
Well, we know two things white men can't do now.
Okay. How do you want it?
Okay, you got it.
How do you want it?
I give you credit for even asking.
I guess.
Normally when you get in a situation like this, you build up to it.
Sure.
So I just stuck my lips out so she knew it was time.
No, we saw the pucker.
I tell you what, I'll stand here and you just come get it.
Oh, God, no. That's not how you do it. Okay, step back.
All right.
She can teach you now.
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody turn around for a second.
All right.
This is too weird.
All right,
come here.
Okay.
There you go. Get away from me.
Get away from me?
She didn't want to be here.
Get away from me? Get away from me?
Piss fit coming around the corner.
Get away from me. That sounds racist.
That was a nice soft one, wasn't it?
Yes, and now you have red lips.
That's all right. They're about to change colors.
Several times.
All right, who's next? Nobody wants to come around here.
They're all doing rock, paper, scissors in the corner.
It's like a fraternity paddle line. See, there you go.
What kind of a perfume is that?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
You can come to my room later.
We'll eat that.
No, you're not.
I like how she did it like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, make this quick. Get it over with. Best if you rip on.
Run over there. What you about to run away?
I'm offended now.
Why?
Because you made them turn around when you kiss me.
Well, she grabbed me really quick.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you can come back around for seconds.
I think you liked it.
It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a black woman. Oh, here we go. All right, who's next?
Nobody wants that. They're all looking down the floor like, I could
say anything. You'll just forget I'm here.
Penny down on the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe he's asking one of the guys.
Hey, is it Berber carpet?
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See? So far, black, Hispanic, Asian.
She's hiding.
That's the one that's still...
Yeah.
I'm going to stand back here. Holding my hand up.
I already kissed you.
She got rock.
Huh?
She got rock.
She what?
What does that mean?
What'd you say?
She got rock.
Because you were playing my...
Oh, it means you lost. Okay, yeah.
That's a little lip piercing, too.
You don't want to do. You don't got to do this.
Was that a giggle or a vomit?
I don't know. Don't kiss me. You got vomit in your mouth. Open your mouth. Let me see. All right. She's gonna vomit.
Yet.
Don't sneak anything on me.
You say yes.
See her turn her face.
I'm just playing.
Thank you.
There you go.
Get no tongue out of nobody.
No, he didn't.
All right, who's left?
That's it.
All right, come over here, Katana. Come over here.
Wow, your ex doesn't even want to kiss you.
Not my ex.
He kissed two, actually.
Two.
Turn around.
I'm mixed.
I'll turn around.
Oh, what are you?
Trey. Yes. Turn around the other direction. Sorry.
Time up.
Quit it. Get off her. Get off her. Get off her!
Get around.
All right. Get caught the water. Spraying on them.
Wait, stuck together.
It looks like it.
All right, thank you all.
You will.
Are you going to be all right?
How much for one of you guys to me off?
Stop. That wasn't a real question.
All right, thank you.
You will.
Very much. Why don't you look happy?
This Katana's braces got me.
No. Because you got your tongue down there.
None of them wanted to be in here.
No, they didn't.
Each one of them came over, turned the face sideways. Well, kissing you on the cheek doesn't prove anything.
They're all quite racist. They don't want to be with the white guy. Well, you pucker up like a dog. Mm-hmm. Close your eyes. You prune face. Is that how you really kiss?
Yeah.
That's sad.
How do you do it?
I don't know. I never looked at myself. I look at you, though, do it. The girls laughed at you. I'm sorry. They did.
Well, just show me how you normally go at Joy.
I can't think of how I normally do it. You just close your eyes and you put your...
No, you don't. Don't you do it.
You don't. Come here, Dan.
Just stand there. I'm gonna hit somebody. Just put your hands on his shoulders. You don't have to get any closer to that.
Hands on his shoulders.
Just stand right there.
I'm already standing close enough.
Come here.
This bit blows already. Just put your hands on his shoulder and say
Get away from me, back.
You put your hand behind his back and that's like...
No, Dan, get over there.
Come here. I won't hurt you. Come here.
Get Ryan or something.
I think Dan's a bigger homophobe than Gavin.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think Gavin would actually kiss me.
He did say you were his first choice.
No, I think it was Dan. No, it was JD.
Yeah,
it was JD.
I was first.
See, it's already a match. You go get
Gavin.
Come here, Dan. Get away.
Come in here for a minute. Gavin's not listening, so he doesn't know what we're doing. Could you stand over here next to JD?
All right.
All right, show me how you do it.
What you normally do is you put your hand in how like this. You're a good kisser.
Oh my God!
I kiss my boss right on the lips.
What's even better is that you're pulling him in, Gavin freaks out, and his mouth comes open. To go, no!
Sorry, Gavin. It was for experimental purposes.
Can we break?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my Lord.
Show me on Chloe.
No. Gavin's more like my guy.
Not quite as queer. We'll be back.
Arm me with harmony.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
Hey, drop a load on 'em.
This segment is brought to you by Harley Davidson of North Texas.
What? I couldn't pull back. I'd gone that far. I had to go and kiss him.
Hey, you should have seen. Gavin's all of a sudden. Yeah, when JD's about an inch from his mouth, all of a sudden he registers what's about to happen.
Yeah, because Gavin's out in the hall with the dancer chicks, so he can't hear the show.
And he started to pull back. And
He didn't push me off. He just put his hands up like, ah!
What, he didn't know what was coming.
I know.
And when you got close enough, that's when his mouth came open and go, no! You stick your tongue in his mouth?
I tell you asked me that.
All right, we'll try this again.
Arm me with harmony.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
Hey, drop a load on 'em.
Format doesn't matter. Talk, country, rock, Hispanic, even boogie down. He's numero one over them all. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Is it worth listening to again, Dan?
Yeah, just to relive it. Even if you just play it once, just relive it. Just so you can hear what it was.
When you kiss Gavin.
Oh. He's got soft lips.
Okay, really?
Who said that?
I did.
Why does that matter?
Well, no, I'm not saying really does he. It's more like, really, do you have to say that?
All right.
You pucker up like a dog. Mm-hmm. Close your eyes. You prune face. Is that how you really kiss?
Yeah.
That's sad.
How do you do it?
I don't know. I never looked at...
Who's on the hotline?
That's Mark Davis.
Mr. Davis?
What is up, boys?
Can you hang on for just a second? We're kissing each other.
Of course.
To myself, I look at you, though, do it. The girls laughed at you. I'm sorry. They did.
Well, just show me how you normally go at Joy.
I can't think of how I normally do it. You just close your eyes and you put your...
No, you don't. No, you do it.
You don't. Come here, Dave.
Just stand there. Could have hit somebody. Just put your hands on his shoulders. You don't have to get any closer to that.
Hands on his shoulders.
Just stand right there.
I'm already standing close enough.
It's funnier to me to torture Dan than it is to Gavin.
He is more homophobic.
Why does that weird you out to get in close proximity?
Close proximity doesn't bother me. It's close proximity with JD's puckered up lips coming at me is my
All right,
problem.
you guys are about 5 feet apart where you're standing.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you get weirded out?
Let's try it.
You tell my face. That's what it is.
That's about 3 feet.
What is that? Your personal zone? 3 feet?
He just turned to me like he was a dog getting to bite me.
Because I was. I learned from the best. I had half an ear at one point.
Is that really your zone? 3 feet?
You know, until about 15 minutes ago when he came at me trying to kiss me, 3 feet would have been okay. Now it's a little further.
Walk up on him, JD, slowly, and see how long before he actually stops you.
Okay. We stand about this far when we're outside talking.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him bow up. I go within 2 feet, and the head goes back, the eyes get wider. That's kind of idiot.
This is funny to watch his reaction as you gradually just kind of close in on his space.
You're going to lose an ear.
Okay.
This
bit blows already. Just put your hands on his shoulder and say it.
Get away from me, back.
You put your hand behind his back and neck.
No, Dan, get over there.
Come here. I won't hurt you. Come here.
Get Brian or something.
I think Dan's a bigger homophobe than Gavin.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Gavin would actually kiss me.
He did say you were his first choice.
No, I think it was Dan. No, it was JD.
Yeah,
it was JD.
I was first.
See, it's already a match. You go get Gavin.
Come here, Dan. Get away.
Come in here for a minute. Gavin's not listening, so he doesn't know what we're doing. Could you stand over here next to JD? All right, show me how you do it.
What you normally do is you put your hand in how like this. You do it fast enough, you get it quick. But yeah, you're right. What's funny is he opened his mouth and go, oh!
Well, where he started to freak out and his mouth opened to scream no.
That's about the time I got him.
Hi, Mark.
Can we clear something up real quick?
If you gotta.
It is not homophobia to be given the willies by the concept of the near proximity of another dude. It's perfectly normal.
He wasn't going to kiss Dan. He was just going to show us how he normally goes at Joy.
Well, I understand, but just so a lot of times people make that reference. They say, it's all homophobia. It's not homophobia.
What's wrong with your kid? You find out about the moon thing?
I think that much homoerotic radio on afternoon drive is just tough on a 4-year-old.
Well, that's okay. The kid noise is fine.
No, I will resolve here in just a second.
No, it's fine. Where are you taking him?
Actually, he may be reacting to the fact that there will no longer be the possibility or the prospect of a conservative in the White House. The Mitt Romney hopes are dashed, and looks like our nominee is McCain.
Okay. What? Now, I haven't been. Where are you really taking him? Where are you really taking him?
Oh no, we're actually out. We're South Lake bound for a little chow, and he actually had a little nap going earlier. And boy, you know how when those naps get disrupted, that's terrible. I'm going to pull over in about 30 seconds.
No.
This is torture.
I just think Mark wants to get out of the car.
He's being dad now. He's not doing this for your benefit.
Okay. I'm at a golden red light here at 377 and 170. But hang on a second. I'm actually going to look over here and we'll actually conduct some business.
This is more entertaining than anything I'm going to talk to you about.
I know. Well, geez.
Hey, why don't you stick his head out the window and run the light? That's going to be the only value we get out of this phone call.
Hang on just 1 second.
That took everybody about 3 seconds to put his head out the...
Watch this. Watch. All right, it's fine.
Okay, there we go.
Hey.
All right, we're good.
We get a break.
Don't do that. The man pulled over.
Let me see if he's still there. You there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Where are you going in South Lake?
I beg pardon?
Where are you going in South Lake?
Probably one of the fine eateries of the South Lake Town Center. How often can somebody go to Mi Cocina, man? I get so much Mexican coursing through my veins.
Love that place.
Wow. I love the place.
I listened to you going home last night. Why are you on BAP at 8 o'clock at night?
Well, here's what's funny, guys. I'm all discombobulated. I was doing 3 hours of radio last night, and then so there was a lot that I didn't get a chance to do today. So now we're out here. Oh, well, why was I on last night? We did 3 hours of Super Tuesday coverage.
Well, why did you have to do it?
Well, who else is going to do it?
Okay.
I'm kind of the go-to talk guy, so it's me.
How late were you on?
Till 10. Did 7 to 10. And then I blew out of there and watched because the California polls weren't going to close until 10. It was going to stay close enough, so I wasn't going to sit there and go till midnight. So they gave me the free reign to finish up at 10 because then we could hand it over to network coverage, and so we did, and it worked out real good.
Your phone's too loud outside. Get back in the car.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me check the... Yeah, I think we're under control. Hang on a second. Let's give this a try. Hang on to make it... Diddy. Coast clear? Everything good? All right, good. Thanks a lot, buddy. It was cold out there. Okay. There. Go.
Were you surprised by any of the results last night?
Not one bit. The narrative looked at the very beginning like it was going to be a pretty good night for Hillary and McCain, and it was. Obama got just about the same amount of delegates, but it was in a bunch of small states. Hillary won New Jersey, won New York, won California, and that's exactly the way it's going to go. It's going to be the strangest of circumstances to divert us from the Hillary versus McCain storyline that seems to be taking shape.
Which one do you think is going to carry Texas as far as the primaries go, Hillary or Obama?
That's a really, really great question. Texas Democrats tend to be a little less radical, a little less in love with the Clintons, which might make you think they would lean toward Obama. But a whole lot of Texas Democrats are Hispanic, and there's just no other way to put this. The Latinos are not really going to vote for the black guy.
I can't, regardless of the culture, race, to me, I can't see being ready to put a chick in the White House.
Well, that's some of what I've been saying all year. I've been telling everybody that I don't really think that either Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama is electable right now. Some of it is because I think you're right. I think we may have to have a woman or an African American run and lose, and then that kind of clears the decks. It's not so. If the next time it happens, it won't be so new, so weird, so unfamiliar. You know, I mean, we've had a Jewish running mate, we've had a female running mate. Those doors have been kicked down. And I think that you got to have somebody step into the strike zone and take one for the team, and then maybe the next woman or the next African American might actually win. But not if it doesn't happen this year, though. Bad cases make bad law. If Hillary loses, I don't know if it'll be because she's a woman. I think it'll be because she's Hillary and she's just so widely despised. If Obama runs... All right,
well, hang on. That's a good point. I can't stand her. I despise her, and I don't know why, because I really don't know anything about her politics, because I can't tolerate her. Why is she despised?
Some of it is valid, some of it's not. Some of it is just raw hate. You know what I mean? Some of it is just really ugly political bigotry. But most of it, quite frankly, is because of things that she and her husband actually did. That was a crooked White House that debased the honor of the office. They were crooks in Arkansas, crooks in Washington. They ruined people who got in their way. The Clintons were and are bad people. And then you throw in the health care debacle, which is just a political disagreement, and there's plenty not to like. Now, if Obama runs and loses, I don't think it'll be necessarily because he's a black guy. It'll be because he just hadn't been around enough. He's got an unbelievably thin resume.
Well, but you go back and look at the Clinton administration. On his way out of office, his approval rating was close to 70. So why would there be any stigma with Hillary?
Well, of course, a lot of it is going to be from people who wouldn't vote for her anyway. But with when the Clintons came out of office, there were a lot of people who felt that impeachment was just not serious and that it wasn't something that we needed to do. Also, relative peace and prosperity will help any president. The economy was pretty good. We weren't at war. So, he was the beneficiary of both of those. But it is interesting that after 8 years as vice president of relative peace and prosperity, that Al Gore could not win. So a lot of that is because Bill Clinton's political skills and likability are just unlike, Clinton and Reagan are the prime examples of that I think any of us are going to see in our lifetime.
So you don't absorb it just by being next to him?
No, oh, good Lord, no.
There's no osmosis.
In fact, having Bill Clinton out on the campaign trail with her serves to remind everyone of really what a fairly unskilled campaigner she is.
I didn't think about
comparison.
So it only gets more challenging from here because Obama is a masterful campaigner. In Iowa and New Hampshire, I was in a bunch of high school gymnasiums and VFW halls, with some of his appearances, and I obviously have no intention of supporting him.
You're right, he gets wound up.
Oh my God!
The guy, whatever
He'd stop his wife having a baby to talk about this.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to ask. Who do you favor on the Republican side?
Well, I was really looking for Fred Thompson to catch fire, and God knows that didn't happen. And so when that didn't happen, Mitt Romney struck me as the most deserving, up and down the line conservative guy. I've spoken to him a number of times. He's a prince. He's a great guy. He's golden. The people who want the next Reagan split their vote around Romney and Thompson and Huckabee and all of this, and so that's enabled John McCain to rise up from the dead. I'm prepared to be okay with McCain. I'm not thrilled, but the alternative, Democrat president, is certainly worse than that. And so,
were you distraught when Giuliani pulled out?
No, because I knew that his Florida strategy was just going to fail. Once the month of January became so involved and so amazing, Huckabee winning in Iowa, Romney winning in Michigan, McCain winning in New Hampshire, South Carolina, Rudy doing nothing, it became clear that wait for Florida strategy was just going to fail. I love Rudy. I think he would have made a great president. Gambled and lost.
What do you got planned for the Texas primaries? Because I know you've had a nonstop erection since this started.
Yeah. My pants are going crazy all year long.
Maybe that's why the kid's screaming.
Going to be March. Sorry, it's a little vivid there. Sorry. March 4th is going to be big. A lot of this isn't going to be determined until like the Pennsylvania primary, which is April 22nd. So I'm sure we'll have another night of golden coverage for Tuesday, March 4th. Because the votes of Texans, but not so much Republicans, where McCain has pretty well got it locked up, all but numerically. But the votes of Texas Democrats are actually going to matter in the Texas primary for president, and it's for the first time in maybe 3 generations. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Are you at the restaurant by now?
Oh, Lord, no. I mean, that was a pretty long stop there in Roanoke, and going to the purple and yellow towers that are up here in that whatever that Solana Marriott thing is here on one team.
Very bitter.
That's a very angry man tonight.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Passionate.
No, he was passionate last night. That's because I just sat in the truck for a while and listened to him call after call. I can't imagine milking that for 3 hours. Once you give the results, there ain't really anything else to cover. Hillary's got this, Obama's got this, the other guys, this was what was left for them. Thank you.
Let's kiss.
It was great.
All right.
I live for it.
Okay. Is your wife?
Up, man.
Let me talk to your wife.
Beg pardon?
Let me talk to your wife.
No, we're not going to do that. Nothing good can happen from that.
Let me talk to your wife.
No. He's a smart man.
What can I do on the phone?
Anything. Say something. Get him upset. Twisted.
All right. We need a break?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be back.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
Tethered fork, we gonna tether fork the mother sucker. Tethered fork the sucker. Tethered fork, we gonna tether fork the mother sucker. Tethered fork the sucker. Tethered fork, we gonna tether fork the mother sucker. Tethered fork the sucker. Tethered fork, we gonna tether.
Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Mark Davis is a monumental homophobe.
Oh, you know he is. Does not make you homophobe. It's quite normal.
Of course, see a guy coming in him with his mouth open. Dude. Dude.
Yeah, that's his favorite line. When he gets pissed off, it's dude. Listen to me.
Flo, how do you normally kiss?
I never really thought about it. I was thinking about it earlier. I don't know. I almost think it's kind of a dorky thing to do. You know what I mean? I've kissed in relationships and things like that, but I don't know.
You a face hugger?
I don't grab the face, no. I just kind of go in, slow turn.
Well, how do you pull her towards you? Stick in the hole?
God! It's a slow pull.
Slow pull? We call it the Mo kiss.
I understand. Come here.
Show me on Trey.
No.
Why are you guys all so antsy?
Let's see what Trey's space is. Hang on. Isn't that great?
It's funny because with Trey, he doesn't really react. He looks at the ground.
Yeah.
That's where you need to stop. Still hands in his pocket, not a word, just
another step, and that's where you're going to be.
I forgot to tell you, I had a guy get out of his car today, come back to and he was driving real slow, come back to my car. I rolled down my window. He starts yelling at me. And this is right in the middle of Highland Park, going, I don't like your attitude. I said, I don't give a. He goes, I go, what's your problem? He goes, well, I got rear-ended here before, and you're being too aggressive. I said,
what were you doing?
I didn't honk my horn or anything. I was just like going, what the hell? Because he was just going like 20 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking, if I had a gun, you. So
yeah, that's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's beyond idiotic. Is to get out and shove your head in somebody's window and start screaming at him because you don't know what Trey's doing. He's driving a Mercedes. He could have a bunch of dead hookers in the trunk.
Yeah, I had a guy do that to me one time over by the mall. I was turning a double lane turn, and apparently he thought I cut him off and pulled up and stopped and came up to my window. I was about 20, 25 or so. Sticks his head all the way in the window. I don't like you shot me, you drove me off the road. I went, first of all, sir, I didn't. Second of all, if I had a gun, you'd be dead now. Right? Did that occur to you? He goes, and then it all sunk in. He kind of went, you watch it. He walked away.
So you'll shoot somebody for screaming at you in traffic, but not breaking into your house.
I wouldn't shoot him. I just told him, did it occur to you, sir, that if I had a gun and I was really crazy, you'd be dead? Just shove your head into my car. I wouldn't shoot him. I'm going to shoot him now.
So and end up with like a 30-second staring contest.
He said you were winning for half a minute?
He backed out enough, but he and I were just staring at each other. Then he'd walk back to his car. Then he'd come back, walk back again. Then he came back. Finally, when he came back the last time, something in my expression must have changed. He goes, that's more like it. So I said, F you kiss my ass. So then he starts to come back again. That's when I'm starting to reach for my ass. And if he sticks his head in again, I'm going to knock his teeth out. Bonk. And then at that point, he decided just to go back to his.
And all of this was because you were just shooshing him with your hands in traffic?
Yeah. I have my earpiece in. He really couldn't discern whether I'm yelling at him or if I'm talking to someone on the phone. I didn't honk at him. I didn't flip him off.
Well, that's a maniacal thing to do, to come back and find out if you're screaming at him or if you're on the phone. All right. Anything else before we go?
Trey should have adored the guy.
I meant as far as news or emails.
We were talking about politics. There's a 10, somebody sent me this through email link, votechooser.com. It's 10 questions to decide who you should vote for. Just real quick.
Or we can see how Chloe kisses.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that.
Okay. Politics will wait.
Trey, you and Dan go in and hold Gavin down.
Okay.
Flo, you know that weekend shift that you got to do?
Yeah.
I'll let you out of that if you really let him have it.
Oh, his lips are soft.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And work up the side of his face before you get to his mouth. All right, they got him down. Go in there.
All right.
You ready to go, Chuck?
I'm ready. No! Seriously! No, it's bad enough I got JD. Whoa, I'm serious, man.
Come here, dude.
Dude, serious. Dude. I can't watch. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Perfect song, Chuck.
Oh, God. Gay.
Did you get him?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, man.
Dan finds nothing funny in any of this. Look at his expression.
What's the matter, Dan?
I'm ready when you are.
Gavin, what are you doing?
Gargling.
He needs to shave.
He tongued me.
Did you tongue him?
Wow.
And not just for a quickie.
Oh, God.
I'm tempted to go in there myself. Well, I'm just telling you, I'm not queer.
Oh, I understand that. No, this is an experiment.
Well, I'm about to be.
Just not yet.
No.
All right, Chloe, come watch the console.
No! No, end the show. The show's over.
No, it's not.
Past 7 o'clock.
not.
No. Come on, I'm serious. Dude, I've had enough today. No. Oh, God. He's locked. No. God, you were dipping.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Dipping, man.
Oh, I forgot about the dip part.
Oh, man.
He's spitting. He's leaving his mouth.
God.
My jaw pouch came out.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's disgusting. These aren't good times.
What is he doing?
He's gargling. Get your taste out of his
I
mouth.
just kissed him. I didn't blow anything in there.
You dropped your pouch in there.
Oh.
Minty?
Gross. That even grosses me out.
For more information about the Russ Martin Show, including pictures, videos, man kissing, and more, go to russmartin.com. To answer any question you may have about the show, go to russmartin.info.
Any question?
To instant email the show and only during the show, send that to studio@russmartin.com. Other show websites, johndavidryan.com, danandtassos.com, djclo.com. Trey's going after him.
Oh,
God, that's...
he's a man alone.
So we can fake this.
TreyTrimHome.com, chuckweed.com on the keyboard.
That's the sounding name with you.
The official caterer of the Russ Martin Show is Sugar Babies Barbecue. Their website, sugarbabiesbbq.com. Limo service is provided by Limo George. His website, limogeorge.com. Russ gets his guitars and band equipment from the Guitar Center. Their website, guitarcenter.com. The official liquor store of the Russ Martin Show is Majestic Fine Wine and Spirits. Their website, majesticliquors.com. The official photographer of the show is Jim March. His website, jimmarch.com.
Everybody. No!
And the official site for Live 105.3 is live1053.com.
See you guys tomorrow.